we're good there. So yeah, it takes people a couple minutes to kind of get situated. And apparently it takes us a couple minutes. All right. Let me make this a little smaller so I can see my comments. Dope. Okay. We are live. I usually put my phone there, so sometimes people like to call in. I put my number up there.
Okay.
What's going on, guys? And that's our camera. That's what we're looking into. Got Britny Wray here, Broken Heart Bakery. I don't know if you can see she has the same. Well, that's not really how you spell it, right?
What?
That last name.
Wray? Yeah, with the W?
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, that's my middle name, and I spell it differently. But my middle name is spelled weird, anyways.
You're just spelled wrong, is what it is.
Watson from the study.
It's Daniel.
Yeah. What's up, man? Thank you for tuning in on the show, man. I know it's not going to be a big thing compared to some of the stuff that you do, but it's my humble little thing. And it's not a business for me. I do this just because I like to hang out with cool people and drink beer and talk about what they do. And like I mentioned before, she owns Broken Heart Bakery, which they do an awesome job here. This is if you guys are from Albany, you know the old Harvest Moon location, so you already know it's a beautiful location, and she's done great things with it.
Thanks.
Or should I say, y'all have done great.
We
right?
definitely.
Because I don't want to shortchange Daniel. You know, if he put a lot of work in there.
Oh, he did for sure. A lot more busted knuckles than I had.
And if you didn't, man, fuck you. You should have. But yeah, so if you're not familiar with what Trade Skills is that it's a show where I like to drink beer and interview locally skilled and interesting people and talk about what they do, how they got into it, and yeah, all while drinking beer. I like to say that the beer is lubricant for conversation. Some people are a little odd in front of the camera. It's not odd, but seeing themselves on camera and the lights, and this can be, for some people, it could be a bit
It's
much. It's
on the spot.
It is. So after a bit, after a couple beers, people kind of loosen up a bit and they get a little more comfortable, and the beer definitely helps with that.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. So how long has the bakery been open?
We opened January 2nd, so this
Like
is
the store
yeah.
January 2nd.
January 2nd was our grand opening.
That was during COVID. Yeah, that was like during
the heat of COVID.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's been about 3 months now.
Casey, Broken Heart Bakery is the bomb.
Aw, thanks.
So January, during the heat of
like a
COVID.
spike of COVID. Yep. But we were like backed into a corner. Like it was then or never.
This was great and not great about COVID is it allowed some businesses to close down, but also there's a lot of businesses that kind of like phoenixes came out of the rubble, and there's a lot of businesses that started up during COVID. A lot of people were getting there. Some people did bad financially, and some people were able to still save a lot of money, or they made good money, or they reassessed their priorities with a lot of free time and what's important to them, and it allowed them to.
Oh, it affected our household a lot more oddly than I expected. We really redefined ourselves financially. I wouldn't say we're wealthier because of it. We're definitely not, but we definitely rearranged everything.
Oh, Corey, sorry man, my bad. I didn't see it. Corey, my bad. Look, I'm looking down at a small little screen. I saw Casey, and it's Corey. Corey Harris.
Oh, hey Corey.
Yeah, I saw Casey. I'm sorry. He's like, how dare you? How dare you? Thanks for all the hearts and thumbs up, guys. So with how I have it set up on Facebook, I actually can't see when you guys join the show. Sometimes on Facebook Live, if you have it on your phone, you can see
It'll pop up.
Who's actually watching. I can't see that on my side, so you can always give a little shout out, or if you say something on here, I'll respond to you. I'll try to be pretty avid about looking down at the screen and responding as I see it. But thank you, Corey and Daniel, for tuning in. I got one watching on Twitch. I got one watching on Facebook, so it's always great. So you said, let's get back to it, because we both have ADD in it. It goes all over the place. That January during the peak, you guys opened it up, and it was at this location, right?
Yep.
I know you said before, and I try not to ask questions before, but you mentioned that you were before this was a thing, you were doing it kind of out of your home and selling it directly to people.
Yes, so we started off, so, okay, to start this part of the story, we have to back up to like the
Okay.
very beginning, because that's
What's the very beginning?
So when we first went into quarantine, my job closed down, but we had emergency pay. So I was just stuck at home.
Where was that before? Where were you working before?
Turner's Furniture. I was an interior designer.
I remember that. And
Yeah.
it was, yeah, and then chicken salad chicken.
And chicken salad chicken before that. And then Turner's like
Mhm.
headhunted me off of them. Which was, I loved that job. It was great hours. It was good pay. But when we shut down, about a week into our quarantine, I came down with a heart condition.
Yeah.
So when everybody else went back, I wasn't allowed to. And I ended up missing about 6 months worth of work. And they held my job for me the whole time, but you know, your disability pay only runs so far.
Yeah.
So we started selling cookies out of my house to help make ends meet, which doesn't sound like a lot, but also we were bored because I've been sitting at home for months. And
Makes
Maddie,
sense.
who is our general manager, if you've come in, you've seen her.
Yeah.
She would come over, she worked with me at Turner's, and she would come over on a day off in the weekend, and we would make cookies every day. And we got a Cottage license because we got busy, and then we just got busier and busier and busier.
Oh, that's great. That reminds me of my roommate, you know, getting back to the ADD thing, because that's how our minds work. My roommate was like, hey, I need to find a way to make some money. So he just like, it was an old roommate, it's not one of the current ones I had. He was like, hey, do you want some cookies? And I was like, no, I'm good, man. He's like, okay, cool, because I'm selling a bunch. I'm trying to make some money. And I was like, all right. Come to find out, he just like scavenged everything he could get, everybody's stuff in the house that was not his, because he owned none of it. And he just made cookies and was trying to sell them. I'm like, bro, you just tore up 2 bags of my chocolate chips. You're just using everybody else's stuff to try to make profit for yourself. Like, he was like that mooching type. Like,
That's hilarious, though.
He would only smoke other people's cigarettes. He'd only smoke other people's weed. He would only eat other people's food.
I've always been a little jealous of people that, like, not just morally, but, like, can't get away with living like that, though.
I have too much of a phobia of, like, mooching. Like,
people are going to get mad at me. See the way my anxiety is set up. I can't.
what, mooching?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to feel like I'm a burden on anybody, so I don't know, I guess I have a phobia of that. Even when I go to somebody's house, and let's say I'm like starving, and they're like, hey man, I'm like, hey man, can I get something? Do you have something small that you don't mind? And then, you know, I'll try to pay for it. I'll have like a couple bucks and try to pay for it. And they're like, no dude, I don't want your money. I will still probably hide money in their house somewhere.
I just had $5 in a jacket pocket.
What I do is it's this corny dad joke thing, and I'm not a dad, but I'll get money in like a $5 bill, and I'll run it under water in the sink and get it soaked, and then I'll put it in their freezer, and they'll just find like cold hard cash in the freezer. So they open the freezer, and there's a frozen $5 bill, and it's just straight, and they're like, what the hell, dude? Did you do this? And I was like, yeah, cold hard cash, man. And they're like, really? Moon.
Oh, that's Jordan.
Yeah, it's the best boss ever.
Aww. She's the best kitchen manager.
Just trying to get some brownie points. It's fun because we're at a bakery.
Jordan runs the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kitchen boss.
Kitchen lady. Kitchen wench is her legal job title.
Kitchen wench.
Kitchen
It's
wench.
like a bar wench, but kitchen
Yep.
wench. So you were selling them. Getting back to it, you were selling them kind of out of the house. You and
Maddie.
You were selling them out of the house. And when did the transition go from you wanting to sell them out of your house? I mean, I'm guessing you always wanted to just kind of have your own business with that, right? Or
No,
did they sell well enough that you were like, hey?
Well, so I've had a small bakery before, not here in El Paso, but nothing of this caliber.
Right. But this place is massive.
It's 5,000 square feet. It is huge.
It's big.
It's hard to explain how big it is until you walk in. No, but Maddie kept being like, hey, you should open a bakery, like a big real-time bakery. Because our last was more of like order pickup kind of thing. It was like a thumbprint of the building. And again, across the country, completely different. Words are gone. Anyway, completely different environment and customer. But
Ooh, good joke.
What?
Daniel. I don't know which of the joke. I feel like all of it's a joke, really. Anything I say is a joke.
That was the dad joke, I bet.
Probably they were both dad jokes. Cold hard cash, and I'm sure there's another one in there somewhere.
I don't know
Yeah. Getting brownie points with her doing
Ah.
the bakery. One of those. But yes, continue. Sorry.
I forgot. I didn't even know noticed the brownie points. But
Like,
Maddie was like, hey, you should open a bakery. And I was like, yeah, okay, but bakeries, they're expensive. We can't do that. Like, I'm not working right now. We're selling cookies. And Maddie had a lot more faith in me than I had in myself. And she quit her job. Like, and I came home one day from the doctor and I was like, we're still not going, because I was expecting to get my, like, pass to go back to work, like, the next day.
Yeah.
And they were like, at least another month or 2 months or whatever. They were always, like, pushing it off. And I was like, let's just open a bakery. And she went the next day and quit her freaking job. Like, her full-time job.
she was dead ass.
This
I'm was not a joke to her. She was like, we're fucking doing this.
She was not playing.
That's one of those, like, was it the Vikings or one of those that they, when they would go in, they'd pull in with a boat with all their soldiers onto the shores, and they would burn their ship, and they're like,
They
we
had
can't
no
fucking.
choice.
Yeah, she's burning bridges. Like, we gotta fucking do this now.
She didn't play. Like, she knew before I did that this was happening.
It says, y'all at Pretoria? Evan. What's up, Evan? It's like they're at the bakery. Yeah.
Yeah, we're at my place this time.
Yeah.
Very
Beautiful.
similar.
Look at all the books behind us and stuff. Everything looks nice.
We like literature at the bakery. You should come read a book here. People do sometimes.
Should leave some books.
I know.
Then my books are like I handpick all mine like very specifically,
It's hard to.
and it's hard for me to give up.
Yeah, I keep thrifting them and refilling it.
Jake's
but
got he doesn't have shelves or like anything like this at his house. It's just stacks of books.
Oh, that's
And
really
they're
cool though.
really, really high. He joined up with this thing on Amazon where they do like massive like collections. So they'll have like H.G. Wells collection. It'll be like this beautiful book that's made to look like a old book, like with the ribbed spines and stuff,
Yeah.
and the gold leaf on the outside. And it'll be like H.G. Wells. It'll be a Lovecraft collection. It's just stacks and stacks.
Cool.
And yeah, he needs to be saving for the house. We're buying a house. He's got, yeah, they're like $40 or $50 a piece, and he's probably got about 20 of them.
You can sell those and buy your house.
Probably. He's got well over $1,000. She dropped the location. Where's the bakery? 230 West Broad Avenue. Guys, check it out. Sorry, we'll get back. We're getting back. You know how our
That's okay.
ADD works.
Man, you put two of us in a room where it's a train wreck.
Yeah, nothing's going on. So she quit her job and was like, we're fucking doing this.
I completely forgot we were talking about that. See,
Yeah.
it's bad. Yeah, she quit her job. I mean, there were a couple other things going along with it, but she was like, oh no, we're doing this. We're fucking doing it. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess we should look for a building or something. I don't know. And we had like no money. At this point, I had been out of work probably a good 3-4 months. So I like run through my savings because being at home with 3 kids is, expensive. And we found one building. And then, as you know, business goes, we worked on it for a couple months and it just fell through.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, I mean, I was done. I was like, it's not going to happen. We're not opening a place or something we can afford it. Maddie, who I'm sure is watching right now, was like, you're still opening the bakery. You just wait.
We're still doing this
We're
shit.
still doing it. And she was right. 2 days later, I found this place. Literally fell in my lap. And a month later, we opened.
And you like contacted them, and I mean, what was it before? I mean, it's been something since Harvest, right?
Oh, it's been a lot of things since Harvest. The place before us, I cannot remember the name of it, but it was a formal wear rental and event space. And it was only open for about a month. Yeah, they had those big flowers on the glass. Oh god, it took like a solid 13 hours before work to scrape them off.
Let's see. I need to check. You do need to check it out, Evan. Because I need to check it out. Do you do wedding cakes?
We've done several.
The Moon says absolutely.
Have 5-star reviews on my wedding cakes.
Yeah.
From people I don't know. I feel like that's important.
I forgot. I can't mention that on the show.
I'm curious.
Let's play on words with bakery
Oh.
for different location.
Oh, yeah.
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 It says we had a wedding, but iWeb had no wedding cakes. I guess that was iWeb. I want to do something to renew our vows on our anniversary. Yeah, they do some awesome ones.
check out our Facebook. There's pictures on our Facebook and Instagram of some we've done before.
If you guys haven't seen this place, it's beautiful, and there's a lot of stuff that you guys have. You're telling me a little bit about it, but we're going to go into that again a little bit later about some of the stuff you guys have, what you can talk about and what you can't talk about.
Yeah,
That's fine.
we have plans.
So where we left off is that she quit her job. This kind of fell into your laps after trying the other place for a couple months and it fell through. This place kind of fell into your lap. And that was how long ago? I know you opened the doors in January, correct?
We opened January 2nd. We signed our lease December 2nd.
So this is a whole month's worth of...
Yeah, we weren't allowed to move in or open the doors. December 2nd to January 2nd, we did all of it. I mean, it was already renovated, so we didn't have to do that much to the actual building, but we had to clean, redo, and inspect the kitchen, which is, you worked in restaurants.
Oh, yeah. That's arduous in itself.
Yeah, that was most of it. And then all the displays, all the tables, all that were cleaned, painted, and put into place in a month.
It's a lot of work.
It was a whole crew of people. I cannot express how grateful I am for Daniel and his parents, my parents, Maddie.
Says, what are your hours? That's Ed McCree.
So Tuesdays we're 12 to 6. Wednesday through Saturday is 8 to 6, and Sundays are 2 to 6.
And I know you have some like cold brew stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Do you have anything in the future about like a big coffee station? And
we're looking into it. I haven't made any decisions on it yet, but we want to.
I think that there's not, like we were saying earlier, there's, I guess, the cookie shop. Sometimes you can go there and you can get cookie, but you can get coffee.
You can get a cookie too.
You can get cookie, yeah. It'd be not worth the shit if they didn't serve at least a cookie in there. But you can get like an okay coffee. But other than that, we haven't had a legit coffee shop down here since probably the Brown Bean or when Elements was down here.
Right.
And like legit, like some place that you can go and you can drink your tea or your hot coffee. You can sit on your computer. I know you guys have tea.
Hot coffee
and tea.
And tea. But it's nothing. It's Cafe Campesino from
That's good coffee.
Americas.
Yeah.
It's good coffee.
That's what we
It's
use
just
for our
nothing
stouts at
fancy.
Pretoria.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh, it's good coffee.
It's good ass coffee.
We just don't have like a latte machine or like
Yeah.
Or an
So somebody
espresso
can come in
machine.
here and probably get like a. It'd be awesome if you had a couple of those. You know how Temp has them, like those pour over kind of. People can do their own. It's like this little,
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Where you just set it.
There's like, you get like 3 or 4 of
those.
those. You set them up if anybody just wants to kind of do their own pour overs.
We totally
And
could do that.
I mean, even at first, you probably could just do pots, like Waffle House.
That's what we have. We have exactly the Waffle House machine in the back.
It
with
works.
Cafe Campesino coffee.
It works. It's great coffee. It's a good place to chill. Do you think when if you do decide to start doing coffee, you guys would open earlier in the morning?
For sure. And actually, one of the things that I don't think we've talked about, after our brunch rollout, we're going to start doing breakfast daily, and we'll be opening earlier for breakfast.
That is going to be an awesome option because for government workers downtown or for anybody working in these buildings or there's the lofts, but there's also big talks in a lot of other of these apartments and hotels opening up all within. So
like walking space.
Yeah, so this will be a perfect place where somebody can just pop by, read a book, even a book, find a new book, because if you didn't know, she has this kind of like area where you can, what would you call it, like a little library?
Yeah, it's a little free library.
So you can drop off a book, you can pick up a book, don't be greedy and just take a bunch of books with you. Karma will eat your ass, and not in a good way. Let's see, not iWeb, we. Okay, I already read all that. But yeah, early morning, especially like sometimes when I'm at Pretoria, if I have to go in kind of early, to have some place that's super close that I can pop by, or if I'm working, I'm like, I need some coffee bad, take like a 10-minute break. It's literally like right up the road, and I can just literally.
You're like 3 blocks away right there.
Yeah, I can literally just cross over and come over here and get a coffee. Just kind of hang out a bit while I'm on my break.
Sure.
And you said you're trying to do something with the upstairs, right? Didn't you say there's like you're trying to work on like
Yeah. So I think we actually have a name for it. There's an event space, and the studio is upstairs. The event space, I think we're gonna call it the Tapestry Room. That could change. But we'll have live music and shows up there. We've kind of been waiting on COVID numbers to drop.
Yeah. With this tapestry, I'm thinking that you would have like beer taps. Like
I know. We need taps. We are gonna have alcohol soon though.
Yeah, you said wine and beer, right?
Beer and wine, yep. And we're gonna have endless mimosas on the
Speaking
weekend.
of beer, we haven't drank any beer yet.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
So we've got a lot of sours, and we have 2 stouts. So we got 3 sours and 2 stouts, which not all of them are sours, but I'll still put them in the spectrum. Like if it's like a tart Berliner Weiss, I'm gonna say it's pretty much a sour. It's in the spectrum. So are these our
Oh, here, our bottle cups.
lit? So I'll let you choose the first. You got the choice between a raspberry cheesecake Berliner. We've got this sour ale brewed with natural flavors, raspberry smash. These are 2 stouts. This is one that Leah got. Well, I'll show it later. There is a vanilla strawberry truffle, which I've had stuff from Southern Grist, and they make amazing beer. And Hubbard's Cave makes good beer too. And this is a stout as well. Sorry, we got 3 sours and 3 stouts.
Yeah.
I thought that was a sour.
Let's do the strawberry truffle, the vanilla strawberry truffle. It looks amazing.
Yeah, I had one of their other ones that was, it was a truffle as well, but it was just a little bit different. Their beer is a little decadent, which I like. It's expensive beer. So I bought 2 4-packs and a mixed 6-pack when I was in Nashville, and it cost me like 80 something bucks. So most of these beers are like super small batch, and what they have is what they have. It was like, I went to the front of the place, and I was like, what are these in the front? And he's like, dude, these are ones that just dropped yesterday. He's like, get them while you can. I mean, that was probably just him, a good sales pitch on his side.
Feeling real bougie about this beer right now.
It's going to be decadent for sure. Just be ready for that.
Excited.
All right, so this is Southern Grist is the name of the brewery, and let's see, it is Nashville. This is a Nashville brewery, and it's vanilla strawberry truffle. And I think that says Hill on it. It's hard to read. I don't have my beer can with me, so we don't really need it, I think. But yeah, let's get to it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, I like that one.
Oh yeah, I dig it.
That's a good one.
So, sorry, pop my chest again. As weird as that sounds, I can pop my chest. I'll feel do you pop anything? You have knuckles?
Oh, my
or anything?
knuckles constantly.
So you'll feel it, and you'll feel that kind of pressure there, and it's the same with my chest. So I'll feel it, and all I do is just
Have
kind
to,
of
like, release
stretch that way, and it pops. Yeah. So, what all kinds of pastries do you sell? And it's not just all pastries, because I saw an everything bagel over there as well.
Yeah.
I know we're working into brunch and breakfast eventually.
Yep, we have sourdough started back there right now too.
You have a
about this time.
full damn kitchen, so you literally can do anything
I
you
really
want.
could. We made donuts the other day too. They were so good.
I was just thinking, man, you guys, if you did a poutine, you'd be the only poutine in town.
Dude, I'm thinking about adding it to the brunch menu. Like, can you imagine like an eggs Benedict crossed with poutine, like with a fried egg on top?
You literally have a whole kitchen. You can source your cheese curds. I mean, you can make them yourself.
I don't want to make cheese curds though. That's a lot of work. Like when you add it to what we already do.
Yeah, so
This is a
you can
different
just
kind.
source it from Sweetgrass or something like that. There's some place you can get them for
I
sure.
hadn't even thought about sourcing them from Sweetgrass.
Yeah, so you could probably buy a shit ton, but it would probably go into the cost because cheese curds are not really cheap. They're easy to make. I mean, they're not super difficult to make. You just need a big pan, basically.
Yeah.
Obviously a heat source. You need some of the cultures to make the. There's not a lot of super. I mean, I say it like I know it, but I just watched a couple videos. When I was deciding if I wanted to do a poutine food truck, I was like, all right, how difficult would it be for us to actually make the poutine for our food truck? And then I was like, actually, that's not too bad. It takes, it's going to take a day. Like, you start it that day, and it should be ready the next day. You need some cheesecloth, you're pressing out water and shit. Like, it's not too bad. But
I'm over here
sourcing
thinking about
it.
making cheese curds now. Like, oh, you know what? You're right. Jordan's gonna yell at me in a minute for adding
adding
her
poutine.
workload.
The first time, I mean, after she has the poutine, the first time she'd be like, actually, that was actually really good. And there's no place in town you can get it. For a while there, the garlic lady was a food truck, and she had pretty good food, like poutine. And
I don't know what that is.
it was garlic lady was the name of the food truck. It's been 2 years. I was trying for a long time to get Booch and Mia when they were open to do R.I.P. Booch and Mia. It was solid when it was here. The homies. Yeah, it was. Daniel's like, let's do it.
He wants the poutine.
Yeah. You'd be the only place, like, you can't get poutine anywhere around here. You can get it in Athens. There's a really good place that's got some poutine. And there's, of course, a bunch in Atlanta. There's some in Nashville, but none of it I had was actually any good. And nothing was really surprising. It was like, it's okay. I mean, technically, it is a poutine. It's French fries, gravy, and cheese, but...
It's like American slice, like crab single, unlike some of the
Yeah, it was nothing impressive. I figured Nashville would get real bougie with it, but they didn't. But if we make cheese curds, I want a scone. I want a scone winch.
Oh, someone to make this, is that Jordan?
Yeah.
She wants somebody to make the scones. Scones are hard, dude. We make our scones from scratch. It's a whole process. You would think for something that's like a biscuit / muffin, it would be easy, but it's...
Yeah.
She spends a good 3 hours every other day making scones.
She fucking probably hates it by now.
She does, and she doesn't like bread with fruit in it, so she doesn't even eat the scone. The poor girl.
Well, if she makes
Sorry.
poutine, she'll be fucking up some poutine.
She'll eat poutine.
Yeah. That's like the perfect, like, drunk person food. You almost could, if you made the cheese curds here, if you had somebody who that's kind of what they made a lot of, people would probably source them from you.
That's something too you can make like once a week.
Yeah. And I've got, I can make a bunch of black garlic and make a black garlic poutine.
Oh, yum.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
How do you make black garlic?
You have to basically slow cook it for a really long time. Normally it's like a couple months, but I've got a machine that's designed for it, and it does it in about 10 to 12 days.
Cool.
So you just set it up and put all your garlic in it. You don't have to do anything else. It's got shelves on it.
Is it literally made for making black garlic? That is such a niche appliance.
I
you
know,
have.
right? It's got shelves on it, and you just load it down with black garlic. You hit the button, and then it gives you a countdown to days. Candace, what's up? Is that Godby? I can't read it.
Yeah, that's who I was talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Does our social media.
Yeah.
Candace is amazing.
I used to serve her at Mello a good bit.
Yeah.
You're part of that girl group, right, sometimes?
Occasionally, yeah.
Yeah, they're doing Christmas gifts and such. Courtney is being real extra always. Let's see, Candace says, Evan, there will be a wedding cake tasting coming up in April 5th,
yeah.
$25 a couple.
We do wedding cake tastings the first Monday of every month. We had so many requests that we had to compile it to one day. And we do it a day when we're closed, so there's, the privacy and...
Yeah, and it's like a limited kind of thing. Like if you get in, if you get the chance to work it out, you get in. It's not something that you can do. It's once a month, right? You said
once a month, and we do it. We book a time, so it's just you and your.
She says you were talking about me. Yes, because you're the beast of social media.
You are. You took such a huge thing off my plate. You're
Stain off your plate?
Huge thing. I don't know. My plate is less overflowing.
Yeah, fair enough. Yes, poutine back there. Sorry, I get lost in poutine, and it's a great drunk food. When you've had a lot of beer, a poutine is just perfect.
Can you imagine a breakfast poutine with endless mimosas? Now we're gonna make poutine now.
That does sound nice. And if you I don't know how you would work it into cost. If you can make basically like an endless poutine and mimosas. Because, fries are cheap as shit.
Yes.
The gravy, you can make a massive amount of it. Both of those are super cheap. Cheese curds is about the most expensive thing, and if you can make your own, you can really cut a lot of cost in that. And chances are, if you make your first one pretty good size, they might only get one more, and they're probably paying I don't know if you have the price point on the mimosas,
I
but
don't yet.
I've had some places that was like $15 or $20 or something like that. I mean, there's a way to, I'm sure, to work it out to where it's beneficial for both, where they're not feeling like they're getting ripped off, but they leave drunk and saturated with poutine.
I feel like $20 for poutine and endless mimosas is pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't thoroughly looked at the cost on it, but
That sounds amazing. That sounds like a great
I mean, I would do it.
endless poutine and mimosas. I don't think a thing's ever existed.
Think I won't. It's been like my catchphrase in building this whole thing.
That's good as shit.
This is a really good beer.
Black garlic poutine.
Huh?
I said black garlic poutine.
We've said poutine so many times, it's starting to feel like a dirty word.
Yeah. Anybody who doesn't know what poutine is, anybody watching, has never had poutine. The general basis is it's French fries. It's a big bed of French fries. It's cheese curds on it. If you don't know cheese curds, it's like that squeaky cheese. It's like, think of like
Almost
like a
little
fresh
mozzarella.
Mott's.
Yeah.
Think of like a fresh Mott's. So it's the cheese on top of these hot fries, and then you get usually this gravy. Like usually it's like a beef gravy or something like that. You can change up the gravy. It's not important. It's just gravy. Gravy just slathered all on it. And you just get a fork and you just get messy with it. So you add that with booze, and
It really is the perfect food.
I think you underestimate the drinking ability of Albany people. Maybe not endless mimosas. It's Candace.
Oh. I'm here for endless mimosas. Here for
Well,
it.
so what you do is you do between a time frame. So
Well, we're planning on doing the endless mimosas only during lunch. So it's like, I don't know, like 9:30 till 11:30 on Saturday.
so they're really getting like a 3-hour slot. So
Yeah.
like a 2 to 3 hour slot that to get all the mimosas you can, pay one price. But that is, even though it says endless, after lunch is done, it's done.
And you have a responsibility as someone serving too, even through the state that you can.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
you're drinking champagne, like really. I mean, champagne drunk, but you really got to drink a good bit of them. Champagne's a little bit on the lighter side.
Yeah.
She says you can have several mimosas only as a treat. And Haley's like, Haley, how does like unlimited mimosas and poutine sound? Like a 2 hour slot where you
Is that Haley West?
Gordon, Brooke Gordon.
Hey, Haley.
That makes better sense. Yeah, it's just it's a window. I wouldn't want to do it all day, and somebody's like, "No, this is the endless mimosas. I'm gonna have them until I'm done," and it's like 9 o'clock at night, and they.
Nobody's coming here at 5:30 and getting drunk on mimosas and staying till 10. We're not a bar, we're a bakery.
Yeah.
No.
So, we've talked about how you started the place up, literally like kind of out of your kitchen. People quitting their jobs, locations ending, where they were at, like the other location, and you coming up to here, having a month to kind of plow through and get this ready for the January release. We've talked about the wedding cake testing thing that happens once a month. I see there's this chick thing.
Oh, yeah. So we have all these little tiny.
We're just talking about different things that you have like coming up and little events and little.
Go for it. I'm terrible at talking about myself, so if you start me, I'll get going. ADD is magical.
Like a
But
dream.
Maddie, it's always Maddie. Maddie comes up with this stuff.
Yeah.
She's adorable. She found these little fuzzball chickens. They look like little pom poms, and I don't see any right now, but there's 24, I think.
And it's like if they find one,
They get a free cookie.
and it's like a one per.
Yeah, one per person per day.
You're not gonna have a guy come in here and he's like, I found 12.
Give me a dozen.
Yeah.
No, it's one per person per day. There's I think 6 pink and 6 yellow. There may be 9. I'm not sure. But if you find one, and some of them are pretty obvious. Some of them have startled me because I don't know where they're hidden. I just randomly come to them.
Oh, I found a couple. I mean,
I've seen a few.
and this is
yeah.
going pretty much through the whole Easter time.
Yeah, through Easter. She'll probably rehide them.
See, kids and adult cookie classes in general. That's what Candace is saying.
What did she say?
Cookie classes.
Yeah, we
and
do.
Kids and adult cookie classes.
So right now we do a kids cookie class. We will be doing an adult cookie class coming up soon. But we're waiting on our alcohol license to come through.
Yeah. And then once that's open, We're gonna have massive kegs in here. We're gonna have all you can drink keg. You put it up on the wall. It's the big wooden ones, and then you just kind of turn the thing up. And we're doing it Belgian
I was
style.
thinking about like keg stand. As long as you can stand, you can drink it. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
David Sin, what's up? Says, miss seeing you on these, Brandon. Glad you're still highlighting downtown businesses. We'll be by for sure. Dude, this place is awesome. And also, like, it's a little bit of nostalgia from the Harvest Moon days as well.
Stumbling down those stairs, man.
Yeah. I've had many, many great times at this place. It feels, I mean, even though it is massive, for some reason, it feels smaller than what it was when it was Harvest Moon.
It does. Well, the upstairs is smaller, but the downstairs isn't.
Because I feel like
It's actually more open now since it's been harvest, but it feels small.
it felt like their kitchen went way back that way because they had it all here and you could see what they were doing. Especially if you were upstairs, you can just look down. I feel like this whole open area was bigger, but I guess it's not because all of this is still intact and original. It's just, you know, this place, it hasn't been Harvest Moon in what, 10 years plus?
12. It got renovated 12 years ago.
So it just, you know, things when you're a kid seem a lot bigger. And then 12 years ago, I really wasn't. I guess I was here 15 years ago. Like, that's kind of.
Yeah,
I didn't really go out too much back then either way, but I still came here a good bit, and I guess it just seems a lot bigger. I mean, it is massive. I'm not going to say that. It is massive.
Oh, no. It's ridiculous for a bakery.
It says, we're still doing the deal with the Paisley Fig.
Yeah, so Paisley Fig, if you shop at Paisley Fig and then come here, you get 10% off and vice versa. If you shop here first and then go there, you get 10% off, and that's always.
I was trying to, I've always been an advocate of like local businesses, especially if you're not really competitors, to really just work on this symbiotic kind of thing. So I was like, hey, Pretoria, I was like, hey, can we have a thing where if somebody leaves with a Pretoria receipt and they go to the cool place will get a discount, or vice versa. If they come here, they get happy hour price, or you know, something like that. Like something to kind of work a symbiotic. So it allows a person to leave from one place to go to the next, and it's like you're kind of sharing the clientele, and you're showing some love to each other. And
Missy and I are
they weren't
big on
about it.
I'm all about it. Missy and I are big on. We try to have our art events on the same day so that it brings the crowds in. You like send them back and forth kind of thing. But if you haven't been to the Paisley Fig, it's a really cool shop down there.
It's what, 2-3 buildings down?
I think it's 4 doors. 4 doors down.
Yeah, it's within. Like you walk out of here and you can pretty much look over and see it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's super close, and Alicia works over there, and they've got lots of cool stuff. I mean, everything. I can't really call it a. I guess it is a boutique, but it's not just like a lot of clothes and stuff in there. There's like handmade jewelry. There's people's art in there. There's.
It's the quintessential gift shop for like people my age and my.
You can get candles. You can get soap. You can get. Alicia's working on her tarot card like booth area where you can get everything you need for that. I'm very unknowledgeable about that. I'm sorry, Alicia. So she's working on getting that done and having classes there. And
Daniel's parents actually called Missy and got all of my Christmas presents from there, and it was the best presents I got for Christmas. Sorry, Daniel.
she read you out. It says also Britny does so much good. She takes all of our leftovers to the mission too.
Who's that?
She's an angel. Moon.
Oh, Jordan. Yeah,
Jordan.
we take all of our leftovers to the rescue mission. I was saying that earlier.
The rescue mission.
To the men's shelter.
And they just nom them up.
They know my car now. That's really funny.
They wait outside.
Really
They wait outside like
hey, we'll take it. It's fine. We'll take it off your hands. Don't worry about getting it up. We'll get it. We got it.
It's one guy who just takes it into his room.
Oh, really? For the longest time, it was the same guy who got them every time, and I really thought he was. Because it's just like one big full sheet cake box usually, and he just comes and gets them. For the longest time, I swear he was doing that. He had to, because he would like go around the back.
I wonder if Grandpa Larry knows about you guys donating it.
I don't know. I've never asked anybody if we could. We just kind of show up and give it to him.
Yeah, they rely pretty heavily on donations because Grandpa's not really a wealthy man. I mean, it might seem like he is with the rescue mission, but I mean, having to feed and house that many people, like, you kind of need donations. You kind of
Yeah.
need handouts. He's kind of doing it all for a better purpose. It says we have vendors at the bakery too.
We do.
Of local artists. Look at Jordan just giving all the shout outs.
She's like, Britny, talk about the stuff.
She's not in front of the
like.
camera, so she doesn't understand the. Sometimes you just forget things, and it's easy to kind of just get lost in conversation and not hit on like little fine points. Which
Also-
I mean, it's the pro and con of me going into this without having it. I have general questions in my mind that I like to ask, but I don't like having like, the normal interview, and they're like, "So, your father?" Like, yeah, and kind of like going into these questions. I
Start
want to
bringing
have
up
like.
past trauma and getting into that.
Yeah, I just want to have like organic conversation and just drink beer and talk about the biz. So the studio upstairs, is that actually like a part of Broken Heart, or is that just you guys using? Is that just Daniel having his studio there?
So it is part. So it's separate. So it's kind of like Daniel is subletting from us, but it's
Okay.
we work as business partners. Because the event space we have upstairs where we're going to be having the live music and stuff, Daniel's running the sound and lights and all of that for that. So that's like our shared space, and then that's Daniel's space, and this is ours, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if there was some kind of like symbiotic thing where I don't know how
Well,
production studio mixed with pastries.
We host events together, though. We do.
Yeah,
So
that gets me on another of my point, or another idea that I had, where we're talking about like having. You said you wanted to have like comedy things up there,
Yeah.
or like stand up or musicians, and I was like, man, I'd love to have like just a jazz, just like a place where
Oh, I'm
people
so
set
here
up and
for
just do
it.
jazz, like stand up bass, trumpet, saxophone,
it's
clarinet.
the perfect environment up
Yeah.
there. It really is.
Yeah, all you need, which is now illegal, but when I think about jazz bars, I'm thinking about like people sitting there with cigarettes, and they're just like, they have the cigarette sitting in the top of their bass, and they're like, I'm just picturing just a smoky jazz bar, something you probably see.
Dimly lit, which we
Yeah.
are, but
People are just like,
I'm here for
see,
it.
we need an open mic night. That'd be cool.
Yes.
We have our back Brit. We have your back Brit. Okay. I'm just sorry. Some of these I have to like kind of squint down
It's
to
a small.
read.
Well, it's not a small screen. It's just the distance.
I mean,
Our
I
aging eyes.
could pull up another. I have another monitor I could probably put there.
You're not bothering me.
I mean, it'll just be redundant of that right there. It's just a secondary monitor. A little thin boy. It looks like a tablet. It says, when COVID numbers drop, Daniel has to throw dope parties in the bakery. He's up to having too much fun by himself. He's up there having too much fun by himself. Yeah.
Is that Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because when he's recording or if he's doing mixes, you hear the music coming. It's soundproofed, but you can still hear like the bass. Yeah, kind of. It's usually like boating or rap coming
yeah.
from up there. We've had a lot of boating lately during business
No, I
hours.
like those guys.
I do too.
I see them pretty often because since I'm on Q102 as a DJ or a radio personality, that they have their show Bodine and the Poachers, and so usually I work Sundays, but I go on the air Sunday morning. So I'll go on the air and I do like old soul, so I do Motown and Sade, Temptations, and then that's a 2-hour slot. And then I open up the brewery, and then Bodine and the Poachers come in and do their thing. I usually like to play theirs through the sound system in the brewery, but they talk a lot, so sometimes I have to turn it off. Because people are in there. Well, there's no shame in that. I'm always on the show by myself, so I don't have anybody to like banter with. And
I was supposed to go on their show at the Honey Jam Festival,
Yeah.
actually. But we were so busy at the table that when they were ready for me to come on, I had to come back to the bakery and re-up. So I was actually here getting more stuff to take back to Honey Jam.
Well, you were on with me for a bit, right?
I was.
I enjoy it. But yeah, they were talking so much that it didn't really work. It didn't vibe too well with the brewery, because you have people in there drinking and stuff, and all you hear is, you can't even hear clearly what they're saying.
You just hear them talking.
You just hear people talking.
Hear Brandon's laugh.
Yeah, it's just a lot of talking, Monk in there, and then they'll pop out and grab a couple beers, and they go back there and keep doing their thing. It says, Haley said, the scene from So I Married an Axe Murder came to mind. I don't know.
I don't know.
You'll have to tell us. I've seen the movie with Michael Myers in it.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, real pretty, and then she tries to kill him. There's a whole like axe on the rooftop scene, and it's kind of iconic. Anyways, let's get into another beer.
Do it. You pick.
So that was Southern Grist Vanilla Strawberry Truffle. Super
Delicious.
awesome Nashville beer. We're gonna go into another decadent beer. This one is Raspberry Cheesecake Berliner Weiss. It's Berlin style sour ale. This is from Weldworks Brewing, and I'm trying to see where these guys are from. So it's raspberry puree, cheesecake, and milk sugar. I don't know what milk sugar is. I'm sure you do as a pastry.
I have no idea what milk sugar is.
Oh, it's from Weld County, California.
You would think that sounds like something I would know, but it's not.
It says you read it late. So yes, I do sometimes read it late. So there's no dings or there's nothing that comes up on my I mean, it just pops up on my screen, but if we're having a conversation, I might not notice it.
Also, if it's Facebook Live, there's a lag.
Yeah, there's at least probably a... So let me count hands. We'll count it from here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Like a long lag.
26-second lag. So yeah, just keep that in mind. 26 seconds is our lag. And Twitch, I think, will actually have a different time from that too. Those watching on Twitch.
There you go.
So like I said, this is Raspberry Cheesecake Berliner Weiss.
I
If you
tried it
guys-
before you, I cheated.
Oh, how dare you. So if you guys have any questions, you guys can always type it in, or there's a phone there if you want to call in as well.
I like this one more than the last one.
Do you?
Mhm.
So, I mean, the last one was so good.
I know.
All right, Raspberry Cheesecake Berliner Weiss. It's raspberry puree, milk sugar, and something else.
It tastes like cheesecake.
Would that be good?
Yeah.
That's very good.
It legitimately tastes like cheesecake beer.
I probably should have gone to a stout next. Raspberry stout, or sour stout. But what are some big plans on things you can do here or the things you're going to do here or you want to do here that you can talk about?
Okay, some things
We
we
talked
can.
about some you can't.
So we talked about the endless samosas and brunch coming up,
And the poutine.
and the poutine, which I'm probably going to do now. I'm like jacked about it, so just know that that's probably going to happen. I mean, imagine like a Benedict poutine.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
egg
can
on
even,
top, you bust the yolk, it'd be so good.
if you want to do it real breakfasty, you can make the gravy and add in some kind of, I mean, it would be great to do a collaboration with Pretoria and use their coffee stout
Oh,
as
the Walker Station.
Well, no, they have an actual coffee stout they use with Cafe
I forgot
Campesino.
about that. I haven't had it
You make a
yet.
stout out of it, so it would be you could do a savory
Oh,
savory coffee gravy, stout gravy. Yeah. Either
That
way,
would be
so
good.
things you can talk about. Sorry.
No,
Talk
you're
about
fine.
the mimosas.
So we're going to start, when we start doing the mimosas, we're going to start doing brunch simultaneously. We were planning on Sundays, but it's probably going to be Saturdays because when you first get your alcohol license, you can't serve on Sundays. I've recently learned.
So it would take what, a year?
I think it's 6 months.
6 months. It's like a probationary period.
Yeah, so then it's Saturday and Sunday. But we're going to petition to try to do it sooner, but that's in the works.
Bible Belt.
Yeah, God bless it.
Says, man, they've come out with so many fancy beers since I quit drinking 11 years ago.
Is that Candace?
Yeah. Sad every time a cool new beer comes out. Yeah, they've got some. This one's it's a cheesecake beer.
And it tastes like cheesecake. It's delicious.
Yeah. It is quite good. And so I do most of my drinking. I choose one day a week, pretty much to do all my drinking on. So I drink these 6 beers, and that's pretty much all I have. If I work at Pretoria, I might maybe sip on one beer like a whole shift. Maybe.
Like once every few weeks, I have a few glasses of wine usually. It's a rare day.
Yeah.
pizza every day.
Sometimes you need it, you know? You knock out so many scones. Well, no, you have a scone winch for that now.
I do. Jordan is the scone winch now. Thank goodness.
She's going to be a cheese curd winch soon.
Do you want to hear the story about the scone recipe? Well, you had the scone today. You know how the scone
Yeah,
tastes.
scone's good.
So Tip had contacted me asking for scones, and we were going to make the scones, test them. Because I know how to make scones, but I hadn't made this recipe. I kind of made it up in my head.
Yeah.
We're going to test them here because working in an industrial kitchen or commercial kitchen is very different than working in the kitchen at home. Everything runs a different temp, it cooks different. So we were going to make them and then have 2 days to test them and whatnot, and then send them out to temp so we can perfect it. And then we came in for our soft opening, and our water was off. Nobody knew why. They just cut our water off.
Oh.
And it was on the day before. So it took forever to get it cut on. So I ended up not being able to test it. So the morning we sent these out to temp is the first time we made the scones. And thank God the recipe was fine. They're great. But
Yeah, it tasted good. I enjoyed it. And you said mine was...
Yours is on its third day. Yeah. So their donation scones.
Yeah, I took a donation scone. Sorry, you guys from the rescue mission ate one of your scones. But it was solid. It was good. I enjoyed it. She was trying to heat it up, and I was like,
They're
no.
better heated, man.
I was like, just give me that thing.
Especially if you like cut them and put them on a griddle. Oh my God, to die for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got like butter in it, right? So
Yeah.
the butter kind of loosens everything up.
They're real buttery, well, they're not textured like a croissant, but they're real buttery, like a real croissant-y biscuit.
It's really good. Should have bought a 6-pack of those.
Yeah, that one's good. Where's that one from?
California.
Naturally.
I mean, that one right there's from Nashville, and that one was really good. Can't wait to get some goodies. So proud of you, Haley.
Hi.
Candace said they're fantastic if you put them in the microwave for 30 seconds.
They are.
I mean, I liked it as is, but I'm one of those guys who can drink warm beer. I drink warm, like room temp water. Like, I'm pretty easy to please. If you just give me beer, I'm probably gonna like it. Even light beer, I prefer not to drink it, but I can drink it. You see, it's Brittany's birthday soon, and I shamelessly suggested everyone bring her a present to the bakery.
Who is that?
Jordan.
Aw. It's my birthday's the 24th. I don't even know what today is. I think it's Wednesday. I think my birthday's Wednesday. I'm not even sure.
Sounds right.
Oh, what's today?
22nd, I think.
Oh, yeah, I think my birthday's Wednesday.
Right on. Turning
Cool.
22, right?
Yeah, of course. For sure.
She's 21 now, so she's legal to drink.
It's fine.
I waited a while to have her on the show. I want her to be able to drink.
How do people sample the beer?
Yeah. There's people who are all the time, they're like, how do you have to be at Pretoria to work? Like, well, technically you can work there at 18, but nobody's going to take your suggestions about beer because you never had any of it. We're not going to give it to you. How can people, man?
Yeah.
I'm kidding. They actually would be really, really good. It's just, sadly, they can't drink any of it. 22 and holding. Candace.
The next 10 years, man, at least.
I wonder what they think about all the people who are just kind of walking behind us. Somebody came by earlier with a shopping cart. And we're like, where the fuck are y'all
doesn't shock
at?
me at all.
Where are y'all at? We're right behind a Walmart. It's the one from shopping.
It's fun. They're just getting their groceries.
Pretty much. It looked like groceries. There was a lot of cans and stuff in there. Either way, I'm excited. There's a lot of things you have coming up here that I'm super excited about. Some stuff we can't talk about, and some stuff we talked about already.
So ADD. Other thing that's coming up.
Yes.
We're working on our second location. I'm starting to scout locations. We're hoping to open an America's location in about a year.
Yeah. So a little over a year from the time you started opening up a second location. I mean, that's pretty stellar for a business to do. Most of them, they won't see profit for the first 4 years, something like that, and then a second location is just way down the road. There's a lot of places even in town that they're really just, even with COVID, before COVID, they were struggling with their one location.
So something that helped us a lot is we didn't take on any business loans, so we didn't start out in debt. We joke often that we're the brownie that bakeries built, which sounds super cheesy, but
Say it again.
we joke that we're the bakery that brownies built.
Yeah, you were telling me earlier like how you kind of got it all. Is that something you can talk about on?
Yeah, we can totally talk about it. Yeah, so when we had the cottage license and we decided we were going to do the bakery.
So a cottage license.
A cottage license is what you legally have to get licensing wise from the Department of Ag to sell things that you make in your home.
Right.
And they regulate what and where and how you can sell it. And that's how you bake out of your home kitchen without, going to jail for selling cookies. It's like $100 for a year. So if you want to get into it, it's nothing. It's super easy to pass the testing, which is scary now that I say it like that. But we had a cottage license. And so we were selling out of our home kitchen. We were doing like pop-up markets like Misty does at the Paisley Fig and like the Tiff Park Market. We didn't do that one then, but we would just go to those type of pop-ups and we would sell at the house. So we had things coming up like, oh, it's like $250 for this license, so we need to have this baking day, go to that. Or like I remember right before we opened, like actually opened, we were already in location. We had like 3 different pop-ups, and you have a lot of surprise expenses when you're starting a business.
Right.
Like, oh, this one for like 3 pop-ups in a row. We were like, this one's going to our Coke order. We have to get this first like $500 Coke order. And it would be like, oh, these licenses came up that we didn't know we needed. Because turns out every license you get for the city and the state, and they cost even more every time. And of course, we were poor, so we didn't get an attorney or anything. We just did it ourselves, and it
worked out in the end. It worked
fine.
out, and you became a little bit wiser for it. Like going around 2 of opening up the second location, you'll be just a little bit wiser and be able to streamline a lot of that.
Oh, I feel like I know what I'm doing now. I feel like not that I know what I'm doing. That sounds cocky. I'm not that confident in
She
it.
knows what she's doing.
I've done it once and I stumbled through it, so I think I can kind of like.
And you said that we were talking about how you kind of built it with brownies.
Oh yeah, every time we needed something, we would just schedule a baking day at my house, which we were baking at that point 6 days a week.
Yeah.
And it was easily 300 to 400 brownies a day, and we would sell them in packs of 9.
Yeah. And you use those brownies for bartering as well, right?
Oh yeah. Our when we had our appliances inspected, which came with a building, we got extremely lucky often. We traded a chocolate cake for having our appliances inspected. So we did things like that a lot.
That's one of the great things about bartering. I actually, I haven't talked about it too much on the show just because I'm worried it would get stolen, but maybe in this current climate, nobody really cares about it. But I originally created the show.
I remember that.
So yeah, Jake and I, for the last 2 or 3 years, we wanted to create this app that would allow people to barter a skill for a skill or an asset for a skill. So if like I wanted to learn Japanese and Japanese, I'm a piano player, and you want to learn, we can link up through the site locally because there's an algorithm where you can look between 5 miles, 10 miles, 100 miles, whatever, and you can barter person to person with no money involved, a straight up trade. So it's like, hey, I'll give you 3 or 4 piano lessons for teach me some Japanese, and not only are you building friendships, but you're learning directly from the source or from a great source instead of going to like something like Babbel or something like Rosetta Stone to learn a language, and you're not actually speaking to somebody, you're not actually testing this. You're kind of working through vocabulary, but you're not really like testing with an actual person. And I know there's sites out there where you can, but this would allow you to get the skills directly from somebody. So you can go to YouTube and learn roughly how to play a piano, but the YouTube's not going to be able to tell if you're using incorrect form. So if you're not holding your hands properly, or you're not connecting notes, like as they call it, playing legato, like an actual instructor or a teacher would be able to do that. And I wanted some way that people could even travel and use something like that. And basically it's allowing people with skills to use that skill as a bartering tool or assets, for you, using the brownies and the baking and things like that as an asset to get things done that you want to get done.
Such a cool idea.
Something like that doesn't exist. There's sites like Fiverr where you can hey, I'll draw something for you. I'll make a logo for you for $25 or $100. But it's all about money, and that's all people care about. But I want something that's like, look, man, I want to know Japanese. I'll teach you how to play piano. There's a lot of inherited costs that come to some things, like not languages really or piano really, but if I want to learn how to play golf, I got to buy clubs. I got to buy. Some places have wardrobes for the golf courses. You got to buy memberships. Somebody to teach you how to do it. There's all these inherited costs to try something out that you're not even sure you're really going to like. So something like this will allow you to meet up with somebody who's actually like an instructor or is very knowledgeable, and you can use their clubs, and you can always have plus ones at their, you can cut a lot of costs. You can try it out, and if you don't like it, you haven't spent thousands. The app would make money through targeted advertisements. So if you have been doing a lot of stuff with a golfer, it'll start having these advertisements for golfing clubs and bags and balls and things like that. So I want it targeted, if you're going to have it, targeted towards something that's going to be useful towards the skill that they're learning.
Yeah.
Assets would be another option. So if I'm like, hey, I'm an inspector for like equipment to make sure that they're okay for businesses. I'll actually, if you give me brownies or a cake or something like that, I'll totally do the job for you. I'll come in, I need a cake anyways, my son's birthday's coming up. Like, just find some way to barter without an actual like money involved. Getting back, with ADD, it's all over the place. But there was a lady who worked at Mello for a while, and she spoke Yoruba, which is like a Nigerian language.
Oh, that's cool.
And you can't really learn it outside of there. You can't go to Babbel or any of these things to kind of learn it. She has a skill, like her knowing this language, that being her first language, that she can use to barter to basically make herself more valuable on the workforce. So if somebody wanted to learn that, they're like, yes, my ancestors or my great-grandparents were from there, and I'd love to learn the language. I'll teach you TIG welding, or that she can use that to barter so she can pick up welding, and then she finds out she likes it and she's good at it. She gets certifications. She's just become more valuable in the workforce with that skill that she has.
It's just like an organic way to grow your person.
Yeah. It just I wanted to create it because there's so many things that I want to learn, and then there's no unified way to do that. If I want to learn a language, of course I have to go to these sites, or if I want to learn piano, I go here, or if I want to, there's not anything that's like that encapsulates all of them that I can, and it looks local as well. So it's something I wanted to create, and since I didn't have the knowledge right from the rip to do it, we created this show to where I can interview people and talk about how they got into it, and I would generally ask them the same question afterwards, which we'll get at the very end if I remember. But I don't know, it's something that I want to do, and we might continue when we go to Nashville, or like I said, in the current market there might not be a demand for it. Maybe there's people who, everybody's about money, so maybe it's something.
I think you should, because I think any true artist appreciates the real artistry of what other people do, and I think that's my favorite. I know that's my favorite way to learn is from other people. Or
I learn best that way.
So I think there's a market for it.
Yeah, totally. Like, if you're like, hey, I want my walls completely graffitied. I want tons of graffiti, all of my walls done in a very, very artful way. And then you find a graffiti artist in town that you like his work, and you're like, hey, dude, let's work out something. I want my walls done. I can't really pay you, but this is what I have to offer. What can we work out?
Done that exact thing for a hair salon in Lee County. They did my hair and I painted their wall.
Yeah. I think something like that would be great, especially in a unified, uniform kind of way. And the fact that it uses like algorithms, like local algorithms, that if I'm in Thailand and I'm there for a month, that I can use that and it'll look through my area if I'm in Bangkok or something and be like, hey, I'm an electrician. If I fix some of your stuff around the place that you have, would you give me a couple lessons of kickboxing and something like that? That it's something that you can just travel with. I got to read back a little further because we had some messages. It says, oh, we can say it now. We've been voted the best bakery in Southwest Georgia.
We have.
She says, you heard it here first. And then it says, going to jail for selling cookies is the most Britney thing I've ever heard. I'm making the social accounts tomorrow. Love you guys. My boss is really scary and I have to start baking at 6 a.m. Fair enough.
I'm terrifying.
You just put on some music and do your thing. Well, enjoy these while you can. Enjoy the scones because you're going to be a poutine wench or
Soon. It's
cheese
coming.
curd wench.
Cheese curd wench. Yup. It's coming. It's time for another beer.
I agree. Let's see. Let's go to a stout. We're going to do a fruity stout.
The Black Forest. Is that what
Black
it is?
Forest Cake Smoothie Stout. Let's see. Oh, okay. This one's a little shorter, so. That's about right. So, I don't think I ever said any ABV on some of the previous ones, so this one was 5.8%, so not too bad. Britny can't have any poutine. I'm sure there's a way to work that out.
We'll do yucca fries.
Yeah, for people who maybe can't have potatoes, or maybe are trying to cut carbs, maybe, or
Maybe.
I'm sure there's. Are they gluten free, right?
Yucca is, yeah.
Yeah, you can probably do that'd be like your
Well,
gluten free.
potatoes are gluten free.
True, but this, I mean, if you made yucca fries, you could just sell it as,
It's
like,
healthy, or
yeah. I'm trying to see the ABV on this. This Berliner Weiss. 4.5. So that one was a little on the lighter side.
let's see this
Are you gonna read that one out? It says, "I'll trade you a piano or TikTok training for podcast training."
Oh, she's talking to you.
You say I need podcast training? Or are you saying
This
no?
one's 9.5.
9.5?
9.5.
Oh, we're about to be boozy. So
Smells good.
I have a bunch of pianos at my house. I think we have four keyboards. So I live in a house of musicians, or at least there's one. There's one, and I'm a collector of. There's things that I want to do, but I don't. I was like, maybe when I create the app, I can use it to learn some of these things. So I have a banjo, a guitar, and 2 keyboards. They're pretty old. So they have that old, like, synth wavy, dirty, 8-bit Nintendo kind of sound.
I kind of like that though.
No, I need podcast training. There's no podcast training. You just hang out. You talk.
You'd be good at it, Candace. I know that's Candace.
Yeah, it is. You just hang out, you talk. There's a little bit of planning beforehand, but not too much. Depends on how anal you are. You can do lots of planning beforehand if you want. Some people are that way. Some people, they like fine-tuned podcast, and that's okay. Me, I like to just sit there and I like a more organic experience. Just hang out with me. Let's have a good time. You're almost inviting whoever's listening to kind of almost be in your group and hang out with you. It's not so refined. I can teach you piano and ukulele. So I took some piano lessons there for a while. I took them with a guy named Mr. Miller, Old Man Miller. He's a super sweet guy, but he definitely looks like he died about 15 years ago.
No.
He's just got that look to him, and he's super patient. Like, bless that old man. Super patient. Let's see, trade brownies for cents. For cents? SYNTHS.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, that was Daniel. Like cents, like
Oh,
Synthwave.
since Daniel, you get them anyway. Daniel's favorite thing about being located above the bakery is he just comes downstairs and he'll just literally goes to the back and gets a cup of milk. Not the milk from.
It
up
almost
here
smells
that-
like milk. It almost smells like chocolate milk.
It does. It tastes like hot chocolate
You
milk.
already tried it?
Sorry, I'm terrible.
Hold on, let's cheers it. I'll get my little beer thing up there.
Sorry, the ADD. I wasn't.
He's terrifying. Candace.
You're terrified?
Oh, Mr. Miller, yeah.
Oh.
Keyboards. Yeah, Mr. Miller, he kind of looks like Bernie in about 50 years. So he's super patient though. So at the time, I didn't have keyboards or pianos or anything like that. So the only one that was available was at Darton when I was there. And, you know, I kind of messed up in school. I was a dumbass. And I took every class that just seemed interesting to me. Anything, so where I should be, most people are focused and they're only taking the classes they need, which, yeah, I did that as well. But I was like, why don't I add like 3 or 4 more classes every semester?
Oh, no.
So I'll take like mythology, I took piano, I took like Latin dance, I took ballroom dance, I took I think I took like video editing, and I took some funky ass class, just anything that was interesting. I took it. I'm a guy who wants to learn, which is the reason why I want that app to be created. But yeah, Old Man Miller would know that I haven't practiced. We'd go through something easy, just playing legato and playing piano, like playing soft, like you're supposed to in this particular song, and I would mess it up, and you know, most people would probably rage on me and be like, dude, you haven't fucking played since last week. But he'd be like, you haven't got much practice in this week, have you? And I was like, no, everybody's been in that room. He's like, it's okay, we'll continue.
Oh, that hurts a little more though.
Why?
It's so tender, like it breaks my soul a little bit.
That he's so patient?
Yeah.
He's so
when
sweet.
patient people are slightly like disappointed in me, it like.
Oh, there was lots of disappointment, but it just comes with age. It says Old Man Miller. That's what I called him too. He would ride around on his little purple scooter. He used to hang out at Harvest too.
Did he?
Yeah, he would like right when you walk in the door. There's that little front counter, but then to the right, there's usually a table.
Like a little 2-person table.
Yeah, and he would just be the old guy who would just be sitting there. It says, I lied. I'm too interested in this to go to sleep. Welcome back, Jordan. I bought a tiny violin from Candace, so guess what I'm bringing to work tomorrow?
Oh God.
Is it one of these kind of little tiny?
I was gonna say, is it like a?
Oh, that was my Reservoir Dog reference. Keyboards. Daniel Watson, he wants a keyboard. I feel like you already have enough of these, my man.
He has several.
You probably have a closet that you open it up and keyboards just fall out of it.
I mean, essentially. He has a like tiny toy piano that he has tuned, and he uses it. He used it on a song recently.
That's sweet and boozy.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Sweet and boozy. That's a very white person thing to say.
Yeah.
It's a
well,
thing that we say. Something you drink something, you're like, oh, that's dangerous. Actually, it doesn't even require you drinking anything. Like you can go to like somebody having a potluck, and you're like, you try the pulled pork, and you're like, ooh, that's dangerous.
Pancakes a little too good that day.
That's dangerous.
Out.
Yeah, that's a very white person thing to say. Mr. Miller probably has that tattooed on his forearm. So big enough to make an awful sound. Unfortunately, no. It's definitely a 1/4 size violin. It's a children's violin, basically. Why? You're trying to bring in some like little Regina Spektor kind of stuff in here?
You're teaching
Tiny-
Christopher violin, aren't you?
Tiny violin, tiny piano. I have a tiny piano. I forgot I have one. It's like the ones you get for like little kids that are like
Is it
this
the Melissa
big.
and Doug one?
Huh?
Is it the Melissa and Doug one?
I don't know.
Like red, white, and yellow? Or red, blue, and yellow?
I painted it.
Oh.
It's like this tall, and it's got very sharp, twangy keys.
Dang on has one.
Huh? Does he?
Yeah, upstairs. I think he tuned
Up
it.
there?
I think he tuned it.
It doesn't have strings. This one I have is literally like a metal. It's got metal. What do you call those things that you thumb on? It's not
Oh,
marimba.
like a kalimba?
Kalimba, yeah, it's like that, but a piano. Like when you
Oh.
do it, it strikes the strings. It's from the 50s, I guess.
Gotcha.
Hudson outgrew it. He upgraded to the half size. Candace.
Ah.
Yeah, this is, so getting back to this, this is good. It's sweet and boozy. You said 9.5? 9.5%.
Oh, it's boozy.
It smells like chocolate milk, to be honest. It smells a lot like chocolate milk.
It smells like a hot chocolate that cooled down, which it's chocolate milk is stronger.
These were cold at one point.
Fair.
Yeah, these were cold at one. No, I'm just saying, like, they were kalimba, yeah. That's what she said.
I did. Was that Daniel?
I am so sorry.
It's okay. These were thrifted. It's fine.
It says, I saw it and my greedy crow brain demanded that I buy it.
The violin.
I buy a lot of things I don't need. I probably have 25 cameras at this point. I have a lot. Most of them are probably from the.
Do they all work?
Yeah. There's probably 2 of them that don't work. Three. I have a Yashica. It's you ever heard of a twin reflex camera, TLR? You've probably seen them. They a normal camera, you have your one lens, right? This one, it's got 2 lenses. It's like a box, and it's got 2 lenses, one right above each
Okay, I
other.
have seen that. And they like open.
It opens from the top.
Yeah.
And you view down. It's a good camera, but the shutter is a little sticky on it. And then I have 2 of the. It's a Polaroid. It was the first Polaroid that ever ejected the film. So they're from the 70s, maybe. Before that, you had the pull and rip. So you had to pull them out and pull them apart. But this one, you can open it up. It's like it's a book. It basically looks like a book. It's completely square, flat, and then you pull up the middle, and it turns into this camera. And it's the first one that ever ejected it. So I've got 3 of those, and 2 of them do not work.
Aw.
Yeah, I mean, they're worth a lot even if they're not working. So I've got one that works, and I was going to use the other ones for parts because I got them for super cheap. One of them, when you put the film in, so what was unique about these, that the film ejected, the battery for the camera is actually in the film itself.
I remember that about the Polaroids
So
I had.
you don't know if they work, and then you pop a clean film deck in, and it shoots it out, and it does work.
Yep.
So one of those SX70s, when you pop the thing in, you just hear, so it's a motor trying to push the film out, but it's not catching on anything. So something got bent in there somewhere. It's probably going to be a super easy fix. I can tell that it obviously works, and I've taken pictures with it, so something just went bad in it. It says, I do this a lot, so I hold on to it until I come across someone who I think should have a free violin.
I think I have one of Candace's keyboards at my house still, if I'm not mistaken, because she let Daniel use it at one point, or they traded something. I'm not really sure.
I feel like he's probably got a shit ton of them up there.
Oh, just so many.
Keyboards?
So many. Yes.
I mean, we peeked in there for a second because you kind of gave me the tour.
Yeah.
So I peeked
It's
in there.
fancy up there.
Yeah, it looks nice. A lot of lights. You do. It's just all sound recording. I'm sure you do some music videos in there too.
He
There's a lot of
would.
rappers and stuff in there. Kofi, does Kofi come in there yet?
He has.
That's
He's
my
worked
boy.
with Kofi.
I love Kofi. He's a sweetheart.
He is always lets a drink in his hand when he comes in here.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably a gin. He drinks some gin hard.
He's a funny guy.
Either way, so you mentioned earlier that a lot of the stuff you have in here was used with bartering,
Yeah.
brownies or whatever it is, pastries.
Yeah. Either we would barter or we would like find it. So everything is thrifted in here. Almost everything. Like our displays are, I was telling you earlier, they're antique gun cabinets that we remodeled into displays.
Yeah.
So we got them for a steal. But yeah, we would, like this case right here, we traded brownies for the black one. And then the other ones we drove and got them off the neighborhood marketplace, off of Facebook.
Like Facebook, yeah.
Yeah.
I do a lot of my camera buying on Facebook Marketplace. You get some good shit.
I mean, it's a great place. I feel like people don't go shopping on it now and stealing on secret because everybody's going to steal everything out from under me. But I feel like people don't use it to its fullest potential for sure.
Well, how are you able to get all of these old, like, cast iron looking bottom tables?
Those came with the building.
Really?
Yep. They were one of the things that part of my lease was taking responsibility for the things in the buildings. If it wasn't safe, I had to get rid of it and everything. And that was part of it, were those tables and chairs.
That was convenient.
I got a very sweet deal with that. Yes.
Studio always smells very sexy, like incense or something, which I know is one of the most important things for a studio to do. Incense, priorities. People
So-
walk in and it smells like feet. They're like, hell no.
Man,
Get the fuck
Daniel
outta here.
loves a candle and an incense.
I like your Sailor Moon. The chairs,
The benches.
That's all I see when I see it as Sailor Moon. As nerdy as that sounds.
No, I can see it. It looks like it now that you say it. And I never
She's
saw
got
it till you
the
said
she's got the
it.
little round balls in her hair
Yes,
with
it looks like
with
pigtails.
the long pigtails that come out. And then she does a lot with like the ribbon kind of things that go around her whenever
Yes.
she changes, and there's like a frilly dress at the bottom.
Jordan's gonna be so excited that you called them Sailor Moon benches. Those came with the building too.
Did it?
Yep.
The benches?
Yep.
Oh, I thought you were about to say this table did.
Mm-mm.
It was pretty much ready for you from the get-go.
Oh, we got very lucky. Most of the stuff was just stored upstairs. We just had to move
Tell
it.
him about my cookie cutters.
She has Sailor Moon cookie cutters. She special ordered.
4 Sailor Moon cookies up here.
Yeah. I mean, they're extremely detailed, so we haven't gotten to them because they're time consuming. And, well, luckily we've been very busy.
I mean, this is such a great place that you could even have events here. So if you wanted some kind of, like if you wanted to take down all the titties and stuff off the walls and you wanted to have some kind of like, I'm not going to say anime convention because it would ruin his smell upstairs. It smell like BO, but you probably could. She could sell like Sailor Moon cookies and you can have there's all kinds of funky stuff. I mean, it's just a massive place that literally all you would have to do is just move these out of the way and you have this whole area to do whatever you want.
Yep.
You could do like Thursday night Latin dance classes or like.
Oh, we have space to host almost anything.
Because I have a friend that he does it in the Manor House, I think right now, Latin dancing classes. Does them in couples. I mean, he's good. He's great. He's actually the media person for all of Stubo's, and he works at the Levy as well.
You should send him my way. I'd love to have him here.
He does Latin dance classes. Yeah, this would be this floor right here would be perfect for it. Drop some music in.
And it's already wired. Like, we already have the sound system and everything.
I mean, I wouldn't imagine you would have a studio upstairs and not have some kind of music that could be blasted through
Daniel
here.
is so anal about our music situation.
The titties stay on during events.
Who is that, Jordan?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that might spice things up a bit. It might turn real raunchy real quick. I know Latin dancing gets pretty raunchy, but it might get real raunchy in here. It might turn out to a full-blown orgy. Just old people.
Just excited.
Just old people.
Old people getting excited.
Yeah, it's just Vicks Vapor Rub is going to encapsulate the smell of the whole place. Okay, I already read that about the cookie cutter. But yeah, so his name is Gil. He goes by Gil from Brazil because he's Brazilian. Speaks Portuguese. Super cool guy. Really easy to get along with. I think actually he would be a pretty cool person to like. Not necessarily have on the team as like a hired person, but definitely somebody for collabs. He's a great thinker.
You should send him to me for sure. I'd love to meet him.
I mean, these would be really easy to move. Literally, all you would do is.
We moved most of them from upstairs. Yeah.
Well, I probably would just
over.
slide them over and flip them on top of each other.
I wouldn't flip those. They're real cast iron. They're heavy.
Yeah.
But we could definitely slide them all over though.
I mean, that's plenty of room to do some dancing. You have some
For
music
sure.
in here. It's a great location. And hours one more time? I know it's on
8
the
to
wall
6.
back there. 8 to 6.
To 6 every day but Monday. We're closed Mondays.
I mean, so easily like 6. Most people aren't going to be out dancing before 6 o'clock, anyways. That's like against some law or something somewhere. It's in the Footloose movie or something. But yeah, I mean, after that, you'd have to have somebody to be here. But if you've been putting in 80 hours a week, that might not be you.
No, it's not a big deal. I live here anyway. I'll probably be here.
But I mean, if somebody can come in here and have, I mean, I come up with too much dumb shit. But like the idea of somebody coming in here, if I was a guest, that I can come in here, I can learn some Latin dancing. There'd be somebody back there that I could probably buy a mimosa from in between, carbo load up on a pastry real quick or some poutine and get back out there with like fully loaded on carbs and get back into dancing, or have a sangria or something. Like you're gonna have wine, so sangria seems like it would make sense, especially on a Latin. If you had like a exclusive, you have to buy tickets to it, but a Latin dancing class, and it's once a month, and you'll have somebody up here and they're serving sangria, and you literally you close the doors, and it's sangria, you have Latin dancing, you have to have a ticket. So he usually does a price for one and then a discounted price for two. people, you know, if you come as a group, that way you don't have to find a partner. And I think that would be fucking amazing.
Dude, it'd be fun. And I mean, like you said, we have the space for it. We have the
We easily
ambiance
have the
for it.
space. Once a month, sangria and Latin dancing. You're literally throwing fruit, wine, and maybe
I
some.
love sangria.
Oh yeah. So if somebody can buy like a pitcher of sangria with 2 glasses, and you know, in between them coming in from a set of dancing, they're drinking some of their sangria, put it out, and just go right back into it. That sounds like it'd be awesome. Is there somebody out there?
There was someone swinging a bra in her hands.
Oh
walking
yeah.
around.
Hopefully that got on camera. It says, truly though, I think the atmosphere at the bakery is extremely conducive to relaxing and shit. I think COVID numbers drop. We're gonna do another great hangout.
Who said that?
Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan. It just feels like a house to me now because I live here so much, so I forget that it's like a whole thing when people come in off abroad because it doesn't feel like the rest of abroad
Yeah.
or this part of town. It's just a house now, so.
Pretty much. I mean, too bad there's not like one more story ahead that you kind of can just bring up.
live on.
Yeah.
There are sofas in the studio though, and I have slept on them. Not overnight, but I have slept on them several times.
I mean, you have enough space in between some of these pillars that if you wanted to throw a hammock,
I've considered it strongly.
you know, you have space for it. Hammock chills, read a book, and
Yeah.
I still think that sangria and fucking Latin dancing
Gil,
once a month.
if you're watching, I'd
He
love
has
to
tuned
do
in
this.
before. How soon do you think the wine or the liquor license is coming in?
I'm hoping by the end of the month in April.
Yeah. I mean, that's not long.
No, I mean.
Oh,
I
the
was,
end of the month or April?
In the end of April is what I'm
Oh.
hoping. Like, COVID slowed everything down because
Yeah.
they closed the office here, so it's all online and calling people, and that's the whole thing with
Yeah.
bureaucracy here. So,
Yeah, no doubt. It's a big pain in the ass.
actually got through to the state licensing board before I got my local one, and that's you have to get your local one first.
I'm gonna finish with a sour, so we're gonna go into a stout. We're drinking one that Leah hooked us up with. It's called Cat Spit. The name doesn't sound great, but it's an oatmeal milk stout. You ready to go?
Oh no,
It's brewed and canned by Kreider Brewing in St. Louis, Missouri. So Leah was in Missouri, and yeah, she hooked us up. It says coffee roasty, blah blah blah. It's a stout. Just drink it. It's really good.
okay, sounds great.
And it's got this really trendy looking cat on it with a, you know, so like a lot of people like go to breweries pretty often. And they're like, oh, yeah, I love good craft beer. They'll probably wear hats like this. And me, when I was in my 20s, 21 or so,
I feel like I've seen you in a hat
I
like
wore a
this.
shit ton of these hats. Honestly, I have like a box of them in storage. And I pull them out and
You
I'm like,
kept 'em.
yeah, I pull them out and kind of cringe at them a little bit. But I kept them. And I've given away some at times. You know, people are wearing one and they're like, yeah, this is my favorite hat. I only have one though. And I'm like, oh, I got a bunch. Let me bring you one. And I'll grab one.
They're always exactly the same too. Like if somebody has one, you have that same one.
Pretty close to it. They're going to be like plaid,
Or patchwork.
argyle. Yeah. I have one that looks very similar to that I got from Taylor Van. I'm going to yours first. So, before you drink this one,
I'll wait this time.
we're
We'll
going to cheers it. But I want you also to tell me about the smell. And then I also want you to, once you taste it, tell me what you think the ABV is. So I haven't looked at it yet.
Oh, this ABV is much lower than the last one. Also, it smells like finger paint.
Finger paint.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
I don't think so. I don't know.
I'm not smelling finger paint. I'm smelling oatmeal stout.
I smell finger paint.
All right.
I almost tasted it. I didn't do it. Oh,
It's got a roasty flavor for sure.
it's very similar to the Walker Station.
And Walker Station is 6.5. I think this is pretty close to that. 6 or 6.5.
I'd go 5.5.
Oh, brave.
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
7%.
Oh, wow. You win. Closest thought
If that's a thing.
It's the Jeopardy rule,
When
right?
you're drinking beer, you always win. You're always a winner, no matter what. So we talked about some pretty cool stuff on here. Some stuff that might happen in the future. Some stuff that might not. I won't hold my breath on poutine, but
Oh, I think you should because I've gotten excited about it. So I've gotten excited about the like eggs Benedict poutine.
you can literally make the cheese curds. I think it takes 2 days.
I'm gonna start researching this now. Like at 3 in the morning when I can't sleep.
I mean, there's people that make this shit in their house. They get the big metal pot.
We have some of those.
You gotta buy the little vials of the cultures or whatever you're putting that in. You're doing a lot of stirring. You're putting it on the cheese paper. Then you're gonna need to cut it while it's in the thing because at some point it's gonna get thick in there, and you're gonna cut it, strain it. It's a little bit of a process, but when you watch some random people do it on YouTube, and it seems pretty simple. And I'm not extremely knowledgeable about.
I mean, we make bagels. I feel like if we make bagels, we can make cheese curds.
You're probably right. Yeah, I feel like that's not out of your skill set to be able to. This is you can make bagels, but cheese curds is another thing. What would you want to do to the cheese? Are you just gonna make them straight up cheese curds, or at least for the first couple batches, or would you want to throw in some something to maybe
seasoning them would be cool.
Yeah.
Like a flavored ones. We'd probably do plain first, just
just to make sure you can knock out just a decent basic cheese
curd.
Yeah, cheese curd and a poutine.
Those guys are having a real good time tonight.
On a fucking Monday. Get it, bro? It says we've got the big metal pots. You've got almost everything you need.
We would just need cheesecloth and the cultures.
You can buy that. I mean, most of the stuff in there, nothing in there's rare.
No.
Nothing in there's hard to get. You obviously can't go to Walmart and just get all that shit. You can get some of it, but some of it you can just order super cheap online. I don't know what the legality is of buying, when you make stuff in a restaurant, buying. I don't know if you have to go.
Yeast like that. And yeast and cultures are very similar.
I know that places like Mellow, we wouldn't be able to buy anything. We have to go through something like Cisco to get certain things.
Oh, we can buy from Sam's and stuff.
I don't know if you can get stuff like that.
Or Amazon, maybe.
You can get that? Okay. I mean, run it until it's a problem.
I mean,
Like,
also,
until somebody comes in, they're
technically,
like, where did you get this?
something that helps us too, though, as a bakery, we don't go through the Department of Health. We go through the Department of Ag. So our inspections are different, so we can get things from different sources that other people can't, and it's okay.
And then worst case scenario, you can go to something like Sweetgrass
Yeah, and just get there.
and try to find out how much it would cost to buy it.
Oh, I could buy cultures from them.
Yeah.
I haven't got to.
I mean,
section.
huh?
I have got to sections.
Go for it. Yeah, I'll hold out.
I'll be back.
It says the love that we will put into making the cheese curds will
Was
be
that
rare.
Jordan?
Yes.
Okay, just assume that cheese curds are.
Yeah, Jordan, you're now a curd wench. Actually, we'll just call you Poutine Goddess, and you will make your special Moon Poutine. I don't know what you'll do with it, but it'll be Moon Poutine, and yeah. So I mean, you can do You don't even have to do anything special to the cheese itself because you're going to get a lot of the flavor from what you do to the fries and what you do to the gravy. So the gravy is where you're getting all the flavor. I mean, the fries, you can do Cajun fries with the cheese curds on it and make it a spicy gravy, or you can do the black garlic gravy. You can do our Walker Station Stout from Pretoria's gravy. You can do waffle fries and do a smaller cheese curd, so all the little curds fall within the gratings of the waffle fries, and then just slather it with the gravy. Chop up some bacon, like she said, some eggs Benedict. There's all kinds of funky shit you can do with poutine. The sky's the limit. I mean, you're literally talking about cheese and potatoes. You can do whatever you want. Jake and I were talking about having a poutine food truck, so we can do like Mexican poutine, you can do Italian poutine, you can do Spanish poutine with like jamon, like the sliced spice jamon, like the ham that they have. I mean, you can do all kinds of crazy shit with poutine.
I'm excited about poutine.
It says, I've been waiting to do spicy stuff for a minute, so I'm
She's been wanting
stoked.
savory.
And everyone loves cheese. Yeah, I mean, I was telling you can do a spicy poutine. You can do, so you don't worry too much about the cheese. You can leave the cheese as it is because you're getting, the cheese is mostly that squeaky cheese is where you're getting your consistency from. So you don't have to change up that too much, and you can just make like a spicy gravy, and you can do it on like Cajun fries.
That would be good.
I was saying you can do, or some other things. You can do waffle fries, and you can cut the poutine smaller when you do the batches. And so all the little poutine, all the cheese curds falls into the gratings of the waffle fries.
Oh, that would be good. Just like really tiny little.
Yeah, I mean, you're cutting it yourself. A lot of people have these special, it's basically like a big comb, and it's, you know, pretty wide like this, and it's got this just the metal wires, and then you kind of just do one that way and one that way, and that's your cut.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's your cut. But you literally, I've seen people go in with an actual like butter knife, and they're just like, and they're just running it through that way. I don't think it would be too difficult to make the cheese curds. French fries or cake. You guys have the fryer already.
We have a fry cutter bolted to the wall back there.
You're good. You have everything to make a poutine, and you can't get a poutine anywhere close. Like I told you, the best poutine I've had, probably the closest to here, was probably in Athens, and it was world famous, I think is the name of the place, which is a super cool place. Anytime I go there, I get beer and poutine, and I'm like, I needed this. This is the perfect thing. Let's see, and then when you have the Latin dancing sangria, and you can do a spicy poutine. No, because if you have old people in there, they can't deal with all this spice.
Oh no, salt's a little much for some of them.
Well, they'll just stay to the sangria.
It's fine.
It says one of the best things about working at the bakery is that you really have like a family. Brittany's always down to let us experiment and have fun with work, and she acts shy about it, but I wouldn't bake to save my life. Before working with her, I literally applied and said, I can't bake, but I've seen a lot of great British baking shows.
She did.
Fair enough. And at that point, she said hired.
Yeah, I was like, hey, if you're willing to listen, I'm willing to teach you. Just please be here at 11 tomorrow.
So what are some things, I don't think we talked about it. We've dabbled in them, but never really addressed this. What are some things you sell here? What are just things that are on the menu? I know it's getting ready to change since you're going to start doing brunch and breakfast.
And so right now, every day, we have about 15 flavors of cookies and 5 to 10 flavors of brownies, depending on the day they rotate out.
What sells the best?
The cheesecake brownies.
Cheesecake brownies.
We have them. Cheesecake brownies and blueberry scones are our top 2 sellers, and we have both of those every day. And we sell out almost every day.
What's the majority of your clientele? Like, are these people who work close by that kind of just pop over, or?
You know, it shocks me that majority of our clientele, like our walk-in traffic, is people who drove specifically downtown to us, which is strange to me. I expected, it's about, 40, 60.
You expected just a lot of downtown traffic
Right.
from people who work around here?
But probably about 60% of our traffic is people who drove, from the northwest to come down and get a cheesecake brownie.
And then you said rated, best bakery in Southwest Georgia?
We just won the Reader's Choice. Yep. I didn't know we were allowed to put that out yet, but that's what Candace is for.
So what do you think that's going to do for your business?
Oh,
Is there
I'm hoping
a
it
plaque
drives
you
it
can
up.
put up somewhere?
Yeah, I think so. I'm really bad at this stuff. I don't know.
You can literally put it on the window.
Oh, Candace, who does my marketing stuff, was like, "Oh, you need a awards wall," and I was like, "For what?" She was like, "You've been open 3 months and you have like 5 plaques." I was like, "Oh, I guess I could do that sometime."
You literally could get somebody who's good at writing on windows, like the guys who do the for sale signs on cars,
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
and get like rated #1 bakery in Southwest Georgia.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about doing that, and that's terrible because we've actually known for a few weeks now.
Well, you have some real estate right here
Yeah.
on these windows that when people are walking by and they look in, like they see Broken Heart Bakery, but
#1 bakery in Southwest Georgia is a big deal.
it is. I mean,
It's
I've
weird.
gone into places when I see, and chances are they might be lying, but what movie was it that they go in and it says like, was it
World's
Blast?
Best Coffee?
Was it Blast from the Past?
Oh, I think that was that Christmas movie with the elf. What's Elf?
Was it Elf?
It's Elf.
Yeah, so it says World's Best Coffee or something
He's like,
like
it's
that.
the world's best coffee.
Yeah, like I think having something on the window would be great. And I'm sure the guys who write the signs on cars,
Yeah.
those I've seen them. They look really, really pretty. They can do really, really well.
It took me. You know I did this, right? It was,
Yeah.
It took me hours. I do not want to do it again. I'm definitely hiring somebody for the next one.
I'm so hard on myself that
Oh,
I would
no.
be erasing and getting and wiping off and
The
cleaning.
anxiety
and
of this? No, never again.
they literally can get over there with a brush and knock it out in like 10 minutes.
I wish. But I need to find somebody. Where do you find those people?
So Courtney, right?
Mhm.
Her husband works for Finicum.
Oh, so he would, yeah.
He would probably know somebody who
Hey,
can do
Chad.
that.
Get in touch with me. Find somebody at Finicum that can write my window, please.
I could message him. Well, I'll message him. I'll start the message now, and so I remember because you know how our ADD works.
I'll forget until like 3 months from now.
Let's see, Chad. Actually, don't have Chad on here. What kind of friend am I? Apparently a shitty one. Let's see. Search Chad. Chad Hudson. Hey, dude. It's gonna be boring to anybody. It says we can have Haley West come do our windows.
Oh, Haley West could do it.
Know anyone who paints what
Glass.
stuffs on car windows?
Yeah, that sounds literate. That's good enough.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and so they're really, really good at popping these out because they're having to do. It's not like they're doing like one window a month.
No, it's like every car.
Yeah,
on the
every
lot.
car's got probably something on, and it's probably like maybe they don't even do that at Finicum. Maybe they just put the piece of paper and they tape it to a window. I don't know, but there's a good chance he might. Either way, I think it would look great. Voted best bakery in Southwest Georgia.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean that's
Exactly.
a big award. That's a big deal because there's a lot of them. There's a shit ton of them.
Oh yeah, and we've only been open since
3 months.
January 2nd. I had to think about my own opening day. It's
We're
a weird
coming
thing.
up on 4 months.
Yeah.
The fact that you popped in for 4 months and you're already out beating places that have probably been around for 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, easily.
That's a big thing.
It's intimidating because I don't have to grow from that, dude.
Props. That's,
Thanks.
yeah, you're like, oh, that's kind of daunting.
It's scary. Well, it's funny because during our grand opening, I gave this like super cheesy speech to the employees. While we were like, frantically getting together, and I was like, guys, I really want to be able to be nominated for best bakery next year, and then just within a couple months, we won it. Instead of being nominated for it, we won it.
Yeah, that's great.
It's humbling.
So we talked on it. We brushed on it earlier about the massive amount of real estate you have in here. You said what 5,000 square foot.
Yep.
I mean, this is a good spot right here. That since you close at 6, is there any day that you stay open later than 6?
Not currently.
That literally you could have somebody, and I know you have what 4 people, 3 4?
Employees?
Yeah.
We have 7.
7. That somebody you trust, and they would literally be your event coordinator. And when you have events up here, so whether it's the ballroom dancing or the Latin dancing, or you have the cake testing thing, or that they're the one who's going to oversee it, and they're going to be the one who's up here for the whole thing. That way you're not putting in an extra 10 hours a week or whatever it is. That they're the one that manages all that. So whenever you have events here from 6, like you're closed after 6, you literally have 6 to 10 or so that people could be having events in here. I'm not saying people have their bridal showers and shit like that in here because that's corny as hell.
Oh, they do though. We rent off the top.
Yeah, it's corny, but we do it at Pretoria too. But I mean, most of the events, like when Haley does her Buzz Folks and Brush Strokes,
Right. Which
those
we're
are
working on
usually
scheduling one here.
those are
soon.
usually a little bit later. And like I said, you can do the dancing thing in here. You can, if you wanted to have like a Poutine soft opening kind of thing, and you basically buy tickets to it, and you'll get your poutine for free, and you'll be the first ones that try the poutine, and you'll give your review, and you basically like, yeah, I could use a little more salt, or the fries were dry, or and just before you go raw dog into it, any kind of event that you have in here, since you have so much space. I mean, that's exciting, especially since you're only open till 6 o'clock. There's a lot afterwards with this big place that you can utilize. You can utilize, and just it brings more money into here. You'll have people coming. Let's say you have 45-year-old couple that were like, we're getting ready to renew our vows, and I want to be able to dance when we have this event that we're having to renew our vows. They come in here, they take some dancing lessons with Gil. They see that you have cakes here, and they buy a cake from you to renew their vows. And they see this place where maybe they might not have come in here or even thought about it, that it brings people in. So I love when Pretoria has events, because I see fresh faces. I see people that I've never seen before, and then they end up becoming regulars.
Oh, it's such a cool place on there. I can see how that happens, though. That they come in the first time and then stay.
It's just you've only been open 3 months, so like literally the sky's the limit on what kind of stuff you can do. And then you said you're looking at Americas for a second location, right? Right.
Somewhere downtown near Cafe Campesino is what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, which is right across from the haunted hotel.
Yep.
Yeah, we did an episode for Alicia's show in one of those. We couldn't get the round room, the Al Capone room, or whatever room. Because it's stupid expensive and it's rented out like 6 months in advance. So we couldn't do that, but we still got one that supposedly a little kid was in. We didn't feel anything, but it says, okay, so no matter what, we're going to make Brandon some poutine. Oh yeah. I'm going to be first one on this event when you guys have some poutine.
He's already made the event. It's fine. It's happening. Yeah. This is how Maddie bullied me into opening a bakery. We're making poutine now.
It's a soft opening with poutine. And a limited of, just enough that we can fit the tables. And if you get it, cool. And if you don't, I'm sorry for you.
Brandon's on the list, though. He's coming.
Well, I'm going to pay for it, though, because I don't like freebies. Okay, so no matter what. Okay, I already read that. But I think it would be fucking awesome. And there are people who literally go out and seek poutine out. I'm one of them, yes. But
I was unaware of this cult following of poutine until tonight.
Oh yeah, poutine is huge. There, like I said, there's a couple places in Nashville that had it. But I mean, if anybody has poutine the first time, they're fucking fans.
Oh, they're gonna want it again. Yeah. I don't care who you are.
The fact that you can go somewhere and just get poutine is nice. Chad, I don't. Damn, Chad, you ain't shit. Lame. Chad said he doesn't know anybody who writes on Windows. If you guys are watching this show and you know somebody who can write really, really pretty on Windows, who's quick with it, I don't want you out there all day writing on my damn Windows and get mugged and try to sue us.
I'll just do that myself, man. I can't afford
right?
it. I can't afford a lawsuit because you got mugged writing on my Windows.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry.
I get mugged myself.
Wet ass poutine. Some of that wop.
What's that?
That's Mason. Or sorry, not Mason. Moon. Jordan. JoJo. Yeah, I mean you can call it wop if you want it.
Wet ass poutine. A lot of gravy in that poutine.
If your poutine ain't nice and wet, then it ain't right.
Then it ain't poutine.
It's not poutine. It needs to be. Poutine's usually drunk person food, but I don't think that it has to be. Same thing as like Waffle House. Generally, you only go to Waffle House after you've been drinking a lot. Most people. But I've definitely gone to Waffle House more sober than I have drunk.
I would eat Waffle House today.
I go, like, if I need to do a meeting, like when Jake lived here, when we were trying to discuss whether the show or whether the app that we're working on, that was our meeting spot. We could have coffee, we'd bring out the notebooks,
Waffle House is also great when you're on keto.
Yeah. What do you eat there?
The ham and cheese omelet.
Ham and cheese omelet. I never even think about that. I get 4 eggs. I get 2 orders of bacon, which is 6 strips of bacon. And I do the It's a cheeseburger, but I do it without the bun. So I get two. Basically, they send me 2 burgers with cheese and onions on it,
Oh yeah.
and then I drew coffee and water, and I'm good to go.
Dude, the omelet's the hack when you're on keto. So you just get anything you want in the omelet.
I feel like that wouldn't fill me up. I got a big belly.
Oh, I don't need that much.
Remember, I do 4 eggs, 6 strips of bacon. I
Oh, that's a lot
probably
of
do
food.
6 or 7 cups of coffee, and those 2 burger patties.
Oh yeah, that's a lot. No, you're gonna need multiple omelets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Waffle House though. It's like free food. It's like $4.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny talking to people, and I don't know what comedian said it, but it encapsulated it perfectly. Like trying to explain what Waffle House is to somebody that's not from where they have Waffle Houses. You say it's a gas station bathroom that serves waffles.
I mean, it's accurate.
Yeah. When you go in a Waffle House, you don't fucking care. It's literally you drive up and there's some guy outside. It's the cook that's outside smoking.
Does
He's
not
like,
wash
"What's
his
up?"
hands when he comes
Tosses a
in.
cigarette in and just go ahead and start making your food. That's my dude. All right, so we have 2 more beers left. Let's go ahead and pound these
Yes.
down. So, like, have you always wanted to own a bakery? You said you owned one before.
I did.
So, have you always been just kind of into that? Have you always been into baking?
I've always been into baking. As a kid, I was raised in a Southern household, and we didn't have a recipe for biscuits. We just pulled out the biscuit bowl flour and mixed in the butter and the mayonnaise.
Right on.
That's how we
Butter
made
and
them.
mayonnaise.
And a little bit of buttermilk.
It's waffle home.
And I mean, it was the way of life, I guess. And I owned a small bakery before, but I didn't think I'd ever grow up and be a bakery owner. You know
Is
what
there
I
ever
mean?
some kind of business that you wanted to open up besides a bakery?
I just didn't wanted to do what I wanted, if that makes
Fair.
sense.
Yeah, being your own boss and
Uh-huh.
having full experimental kind of creative. Do whatever you want. You don't have to report to anybody as
Yeah.
long as you're paying your bills.
I never in my life imagined that I would have a business where I just kind of baked what I felt like making that week and was full of art, because I am an artist and art's important to me. So having a business where we literally just do what I like is really bizarre to me.
No, it's just the first step. You got the other bakery that's going to be opened up. Is it going to be called Broken Heart Bakery?
I think it's going to be the Broken Heart Bakery 2. So we're toying with, but T-O-O.
You're doing the same as me.
It's fine.
I still feel
Everything's
bad
fine.
about it, Cherry.
No
She's like, it's
problem.
fine. It's thrifted. It's okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
I think it's great that all of this is thrifted. I'm having filling stuff in my house. But then the more stuff I add, the more stuff I have to worry about. I don't know. I'm torn between hoarding and minimalist.
I feel that in my soul.
Yeah, because I love cameras and I want to have lots of cameras. And I also I like all this equipment here for the show. And then I do like to paint and draw. So I hoard pens and pencils. Anything that's really, if it's ooh, this one writes really good.
And then you have a whole Tupperware container of them.
Yes.
Yeah, same.
I used to be a collector of, back in my younger days, nerdy days, I was a collector of action figures. And I would keep them boxed up and oh, these might be worth something someday. And I have a storage unit and I've got 4 or 5 big tubs full of just unopened figures. I'm oh, they're gonna be worth something. And then consoles and video games. I've probably got 16 or 17 consoles that are just sitting in storage, Tupperwared up, and I've got probably 15 or 16 handhelds. I've got a shit ton of handhelds, like PSP and DSs and stuff, Game Boys, and then those really long Tupperware boxes that are
The under bed ones?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got 2 of those that are just slap full of games, just spined all the way through. So a couple hundred games. And I don't even play games anymore. Just stuff that I at one point was into and just kind of still like it, but I just stuff it all in storage. Books. I've been collecting books lately. I've got a hoarding problem. The more broken-hearted bakery.
Who said that?
Jordan.
The more broken heart bakery. The broken heart bakery.
Broken Hearts Bakery. I don't know.
This is way farther than I've actually gotten.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, you literally can just call it Broken Heart Bakery again. Like you can, not that literal name, Broken Heart Bakery again.
I mean, that kind of would be funny though. I like that.
Another Broken Heart Bakery. No, you would just use the same name.
Yeah,
Like, well,
just
it's at
literally
this.
the Broken Heart Bakery.
Yeah, it can be the same thing. What you're doing is you're creating a brand,
Yeah.
and let's say some company wants to come out and they're like, "Yo, I love what you do. I want to open up. I'll finance it. I want to open up 3 more of these. I want 2 in Atlanta, and I want 1 in Nashville, 1 in Tallahassee."
I would die.
Like, and then just you're creating a brand, so you don't want to have multiple names.
Right.
Complicated Heart Condition Bakery.
Okay, that's an inside joke. So did you see where we made it on the front page of the paper?
No,
Okay. Well, thank
I feel like every time I grab this, you grab yours. You're like, oh yeah, right.
It's habit. But we were on the front page of the paper, but the article that was written mentioned that I had a complicated heart condition repetitively.
Oh.
So now the inside joke is that it's the complicated heart condition.
Complicated
This
Heart
sort of
Condition
bakery.
Bakery. It's too real, too soon. Complicated Heart Condition Bakery. Fair enough. I've always had ideas for opening up restaurants and different things that I wanted. Some of them were just for funny, jokey reasons, and some of them I wanted to do, but then I was like, oh, that will require like 80 or 90 a week working, like work weeks.
Oh, you live it.
Yeah, and then I was like, I like to travel. I want to have the ability to just kick rocks for 3 months, and having a business, like you really want to have some just top-notch managers, and finding or like a CEO or somebody who manages that, and
Shout out to Maddie.
finding somebody like that you can really trust to do that is, somebody that when you come back, that there's not just rubble and that place burnt down or something.
So this weekend was the first time I've left since it opened, and it was literally just like a 2-day trip to take my kids to the beach because I know I won't be able to until late July. And I called several times, but I did not panic. And yeah, management is so important. Maddie's been there with me since before there was a bakery, and God, I still panicked.
I wanted to open even though I'm not Hispanic, I wanted to open up a Mexican restaurant, but like, I didn't want it to be, I felt that every Mexican restaurant was like a carbon copy of the other Mexican restaurant. They're all going to be the same. They're all playing the same old music. They're all like the same decor, mostly the same menu. I wanted a place that was going to be like super different. I wanted to be like really wild. I wanted like a massive burrito that if you can finish it, it's free, and then just crazy things, like the tequila song to be playing like from time to time, and then I don't know, some kind of special thing where everybody drinks the tequila when it's like tequila, like that. I wanted all kinds of. It'd be called El Chupacabra.
Yes.
And it would have I like old neon signs.
Yes.
And I wanted like a monster with a burrito in his hand. It's like.
I want a neon sign so bad, but that would be amazing.
I wanted that. I wanted. I've always been. I like really ethnic food, and I wanted a place that was. It's called like the Tipsy Gypsy. And it's kind of got that old gypsy vibe I want people to like, I want it to really feel like you're walking into like some old gypsy's house or something. I really wanted that vibe. They have tons of alcohol, and you'll have just, I wanted that. I wanted like a soda jerk place, because I like old music, and I was like, a lot of places like, what's it called, Steak and Shake, and a lot of these that they had this old soda jerk vibe probably 20 years ago, but they've kind of moved out of that vibe. I wanted some place, because that's before bartenders really had all that flair. All the soda jerks had it. So, they'd be spinning it, and they would toss it and slide it and do, it was basically just like soda and ice cream. And I wanted that old Americana vibe that's kind of died. And places like that do exist. More like trendy towns, but I wanted that. The Tipsy Gypsy, El Chupacabra, and the Soda Jerk. They basically called that. That's what they were called.
I know a lot of empty buildings around here, Brandon. You could do it.
I don't know. I also came up with, I'm an ideas guy. I'm not too much of a making it happen. That's why usually it's important for me to get a partner. Because I have ideas and I come up with ideas I like to think are great, but not everybody does. But I'm an ideas guy, and then you need somebody else to come in and have the drive. And you're kind of like, you drive them with
so
your
you're
ideas.
the Maddie and you need a Britny.
Basically.
Yes. Maddie's like, you're doing it. You just gotta do it. And then I go and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to do it first.
I like really shitty B horror movies. Like really crappy ones, like Rabid Grannies and like
Nice.
just really like stupid. You just watch it and you laugh. I wanted to make one called Rag. It's bad, but it's good. And it's basically this kid is given for his birthday. He's like, okay, you're of age now. I feel like I can let you into this family secret. Here's this. And it's this like nasty looking rag in the shadow box. And he's like, I know you've heard about this before, but I need you to make the sacrifice. I need you to do your thing, whatever. He's like, Dad, that's fucking gross. I'm not going to do that. He doesn't believe. What it is that like his family over the last like 100+ years has been, it's longer than that. I think I want to make it like 400 or 500 years, has been making the sacrifice, which is like nutting on this rag. For the last couple hundred years. They found out about it because, so there's like little bitty like spermy ghosts that like spirits that have kind of like they manifest into like a killer rag. So if you don't make the sacrifice, so it's literally like
It'll kill you.
it will. Have you seen the Aladdin, right? The old Aladdin.
Yeah.
The rug when like it can wrap its little corner around things, and it's like a little crusty rag going around like stabbing and killing people.
Oh my god, yes.
It's so crusty, like it's up on the ceiling, like crawling, and you see like little flakes.
Oh no.
It falls on their face, and it can like kind of turn, and like it's so crusty, it just tears off a layer of skin. Like it's just this nasty rag that's just murdering people because this kid didn't make the sacrifice. Or I say kid, he's probably like 18 or 19. But yeah, it's just really just slasher, corny, kind of like a Sharknado, kind of just really shitty. So that's that movie called Rag. I also came up with one. It's based off of my grandparents.
Oh god.
I had a dream, and I woke up from this dream just laughing like crazy. And I messaged all of my friends about this. It would be great for a show. So it starts out, my grandparents, preacher and preacher's wife, they are in their email, and they get one of those, like what we would consider spam, almost like Princess Zamunda wants to send you $10,000, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, we have this house, this mansion in this small town in Italy, massive mansion, and we'll sell it to you really, really cheap, because we want more Americans to move in. And so they're like, hey, we think this would be a great time to be like fisher of men and like bring people over to Christianity. All these guys who are Catholic heathens, that will bring them over to like our Baptist views. So they sell everything they have and they move out to this small town in Italy, into this massive mansion. But what they don't realize is that the mansion used to be a brothel, and it's been a brothel since its existence for well over a couple hundred years. So and they're so oblivious to all of the sexual stuff that they don't notice that whenever they pull this lever and this thing comes down, it's like, that she's, working on it to make cakes and stuff.
Oh,
and
no.
They speak no Italian, so there's like this weird interaction they have with people who knock on the door that they think they're there to learn about God, but they're really there to get laid.
Oh my god, yes.
And they don't really understand what's going on. And I think by the end of the show, there's going to be this large amount of character development where my grandmother brings a bunch of people to a massive mansion. They bring tons of these girls in to like almost like nuns, but not really. She's letting them live there, and she's teaching them kind of like how the rescue mission is, letting them live there and talk to them about God and stuff. Doesn't realize that all of these girls, since they don't speak English, that they are like, hey, okay, the brothel's opening back up.
Oh no.
So they're having sex. My grandparents are just oblivious to it, and they're giving money to our grandparents
But it's money they made.
Yes, and
Yes.
they're basically treating her like she's a madam, my grandmother, and
That she thinks they're like donating
yes,
to the cause.
yeah.
Oh, no.
So eventually she finds out about it, but she justifies it because the only way they can keep doing what they're doing is with these donations.
Right.
So my grandma basically becomes a madam, and she's like kind of justifies it because Jesus and Mary Magdalene's relationship. And then my grandfather, somehow he gets caught up kind of within the wrong group, but he's like totally doesn't understand what's going on, and he kind of becomes through the ranks a mafioso. He becomes like a mafia boss, and he feels like there's just a lot of corrupt people in this town that it's God's work that he needs to take care of them.
Oh no.
So by the end of it, the grandmother's a madam of a brothel, and my grandfather's like a mob boss, basically.
I'd watch it.
And there'll be these characters that come in the show. There'll be a lot of like expats that are used to be American or from other countries that live in this small town. That are just going to be characters. I'm going to base them off characters here, like Jay Brinberry. I don't know if you ever met him.
Wow.
So characters like him will be like an expat. He'll talk like this. That's if you know Jay, that's how he talks.
Yes.
So they'll have all these characters they'll run with. Since it won't be an actual real town in Italy, it'll be a town that we make up. There'll be ceremonies and traditions and festivals and stuff that don't have to be
Like real.
Yeah, so they can have, like, Japan has this massive penis festival. Every year they bring out these massive penis floats, and people wear penis hats, old ladies, everybody.
Amazing.
Kids, they wear penis glasses, and they eat, like, candy penises. So you can have events like that, almost like Day of the Dead kind of things. You literally, since it's not connected to any real town, you can do whatever you want with it.
Right.
So it's called Missionary Work, is the name of the show. Right?
Yes.
I literally woke up from my dream and was just like laughing. I was like, I gotta send this shit out.
You need to do it.
It would be a show. You ever watch Schitt's Creek?
I haven't, only a little. I need to though.
Anytime I watch Schitt's Creek, I'm like, this literally feels like the show like I was creating for my grandparents. These really like super awkward situations and these interactions between people and this character development of people being extremely rich and like bourgeois and uptight to them being poor and kind of like the massive amounts of character development. I think it would be a great show. You could have multiple seasons. I mean, if it ends with him being a mafia boss, I mean, you can have just a full chapter or a whole other season with just a continuation of that. Yeah, I come up with
I'm
weird
here
shit.
for it. I think it would be amazing. Do you?
Plus Poutine.
Plus Poutine.
Yeah. Let's get into another beer. We're gonna finish it with a sour.
Let's do it.
You're gonna hold the fort down for me when I use the bathroom?
Of course. I'll pop over and I'll read comments that aren't popping up probably.
Either that, or if Jordan has any questions, or if anybody wants to call in. I got you.
I got you.
Okay. I think it's a mixture of the coffee and the water, and then the 4 beers.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm a lot more awkward than Brandon. I don't know what to talk about. So yeah. We're gonna pretend like I didn't taste that. Brandon has no idea. It's fine. It's completely fine. I didn't know what to talk about, so we're just waiting for you.
You said you didn't know what to talk about?
I don't know what to talk about when I'm by myself. We're just waiting for you.
As long as you're not drinking the beer.
That totally didn't happen. It's fine.
There's barely any left.
It's habit.
So for that show, I would probably have to, so yeah. What? Daniel, he just said so yeah.
So yeah?
I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
He's making a joke on me.
Huh?
He's making a joke on me. That's what I say when things go off. I'm like, so yeah.
So yeah. I think the show would be great. I would just probably have to wait till my grandparents actually pass away to actually make it.
Plus, it doesn't happen for a while, but I am looking forward to watching it. Yeah.
It's boozy.
Yeah.
That's at least 10%.
That's a
So,
big cheeker there.
what we're drinking now, because it's a bourbon barrel, it's bourbon barrel aged raspberry chocolate stout. It is 9.10%, so I figured around 10%. And it's from Michigan. The name of the brewery is Sugatuck?
Sure. Yep.
Saugatuck Brewing Company. Here's to happy.
They're
Says-
having this in the form of alcohol.
And that makes everything better. It says tart, fruity flavors paired with sweet chocolate decadence. It says, could there be a better pair? Skip right to the dessert course with this delicious raspberry chocolate stout aged in bourbon barrel for 12 months to add an essence of vanilla, oak, and caramel. So, it's fair to say that you're pretty invested in Albany now.
I have put down roots. I have.
So do you think that if somebody came up, well, I guess it's too early to say something like that, but if somebody came in and was like, look, you already have 3 Broken Heart places, we want to buy all of them, we love the brand, we're just going to take it over.
Right now, I don't think I would. But right now,
That's why I
we're
said
3
it's so
months
early.
into the first one, it's a baby to me,
That is true. And then you come back 10 years from now and it's completely different than what you had. It almost looks like a Starbucks, and
Oh, see, I would die.
they'll have it all over the world, and it's in, they made it into something that's like,
I couldn't. It would break my heart. Look. No pun intended.
fair enough. I'm guessing she dipped out. She hasn't commented in a while. She probably eventually fell asleep.
She needs to be. She's got to be up soon.
Not really, 6 o'clock.
She has to be here at 6.
Yeah. She have kids?
5 or 6. She's got 1.
You said she lives how far away? I thought you were about to say she lives 5 hours away.
No. She has to be up in 5 hours to get here. She'll be fine.
I sometimes so I've got so many side projects that I make too much work for myself, but then I find some way to justify it. So I do the radio station. So a lot of times I'll work Friday, I'll open close Friday. Saturday I'll open close. And then when I close the brewery, I have a show on Saturday nights so the brewery closes at 9. Most people kind of linger around, so I've got till 10. Most people are probably gone by 10 o'clock. I might leave by 10:15. I gotta be back at the brewery from midnight to 2 to do a synthwave show on the air. It's kind of power people through the late night of drinking.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like boops and beeps, that 8-bit kind of synthwave.
Yeah.
And then I come back Sunday morning with Sunday Kind of Love radio station, and it's usually from, sometimes I do 8 to 10, sometimes I do, if I have to work at 1, sometimes I go from 10 to 12, but then I work all day. How I'm able to meet people or get with people to have them on a future episode, I don't know. I've got lots of people on that list. So whenever I did that post, there's lots of people, but I haven't contacted anybody for next week's episode. So I guess that's what I'll do the next couple days. It's kind of short notice.
Just yell at Daniel. He's here now.
Is he though?
Probably not. He's probably asleep.
Could be. There was a couple people on Twitch watching.
I would just like to mention how much of a good time people are having on a Monday. I mean, I know we're up late and drinking, but I feel like it's different.
Yeah. So I've definitely seen that. Like I've gone with. So Mondays used to be easy days for me to like take off, and I would go a bit. So Alicia and I would go to. Sometimes we'd go to Columbus, and we like Indian food a lot. So we'd go get Indian food in Columbus, and then walk the downtown a bit. And there'd be clubs on a Monday, just like the lines are all the way out, and I'm like, really?
It makes no sense to me. It's a Monday.
To each their own, you know. I'm not gonna judge anybody for having their life. These people are partying fucking hard on a Monday. So you got your little sign that says BHB parking only.
Yeah, we had to do that because they had a boozy brunch the other day. Sounds familiar, but they were still in our parking, so we had to walk off.
It seems like there's got to be a better deal with that.
Oh, it's awful. So you park across the street or like around the corner. It's terrible.
You have like literally what, 2 parking spots to work with,
And
not
two-
counting
we
handicap.
Yeah, not counting the handicap. There's 2. We went to the restroom before we started this
Again?
atmosphere. Yeah, it's a lot of
Oh
beer.
my god.
I had a lot of water today. It's hydrating.
But oh yeah, so here we are. It's just you and I. Like I said, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to call in. The number is listed over here. Hopefully nobody steals my idea for the show. And if they did, I've already talked about it on the show, and I have this saved on the show. So you can't do it now. And I've already wrote some stuff on it. I think the next thing I need to do is probably do screen work, or not screen work, but do like panel it out, draw it somewhat, make it almost like a web comic, and then hopefully it gets bought up from there, or I can promote it to somebody and get them to open it up or write a script out. But I'm not great at writing, so I would need to find a writer and basically just have my general idea and have somebody who's extremely witty, and when I have my general idea that I want for the show and maybe a couple characters that I want, a couple interactions, a couple events, you know, every episode will be different from the next episode. There'll be overlaying kind of themes, you know, like if something happens, you know, there might be a mention of it in the next episode or something like that. But overall, a general episode to episode kind of event. I think I got a message. He's probably like, please take your ass home.
Probably.
The general idea is to get,
Oh, it was Jordan wishing us in her top story.
oh, right on, to get, to do a screenplay of it, or not a screenplay, to basically like draw it out, almost like panel to panel with kind of like the overall theme. I'd probably have to find somebody who's really, really witty writer that's like, who could write stuff like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, like just stupid shit. I want,
Like more modern slapstick almost.
yeah, I mean, have you watched It's Always Sunny?
I love all. It's always something.
Yeah, they're all really pieces of shit, and I want at least a couple pieces of shit in there. I wasn't sure if I wanted just my grandparents to move there, just the 2 of them, and there'll be actual characters you'll meet along the way, like expats, people who speak English, and then a lot of people who just speak Italian.
Makes sense. I like it.
I mean, you'd
But
have,
everything's like dubbed, so you can understand it. Yeah.
maybe some words that my grandparents, you know, they're trying to pick up a language, and they misunderstand what they think it is.
Oh, that would be magical.
So, like, there's a word for like coochie in Italian, and they think it's like the word for like the
Like-
Bible
Oh,
or something
yes.
like that.
Or like Jesus.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of instances like that where my grandparents will just go out places and basically ask people for coochie or you know, other sexual things, because that's, you know, where they're going to meet people and try to pick up the language, is people who are talking to them trying to get laid in that place, or some of the girls who come in there.
Oh my God! Asking about Jesus, but asking about Gucci.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's going to get shut down pretty quick. I don't know. I think maybe in this current climate that people could probably get down with it.
I think it'd be well received.
Missionary work. I think the
It's an
name.
HBO show for sure.
Yeah, I think that the name itself, like I tell people it, and they're like, yeah, that actually was like, I would watch the shit out of that. I'm like, what do you think the name of it is? And some like missionary work, and they're like
It's perfect.
full double entendre. What do you think about this boozy boy?
Oh, it's boozy.
Yeah, I've had some that were way worse. I've had some. So Ology in Tallahassee, they make some really boozy ones that are bourbon barrel aged, and they're like 12 to 14%. And it's like motor oil. It's like syrup pouring out of the thing.
This one's the